Peace, salutations. I am Chill Mong saying hello to across the nations.
Bust down Pantheanas. Happy Thursday, folks.
It's
Good
the
to see you.
Thursday, the weekly tradition, the three-headed monster. Darius won't be available right now, but Darius told us last week, and he did give us a link to the GoFundMe. Also, if you wanted to support Ayona's journey with love, if you want to, I'll put the link actually right now. It's in the chats of all of our streams right now. So if you guys want to go ahead and give love and support to a real life, this is all fun and games and play. This is real life. So if you want to support during that journey with cancer, that is what is occupying Darius's time right now, family, and that comes first 100% of the time. So if you're thinking of doing a super chat, don't do a super chat. I'd rather you spend the money over there on the GoFundMe link we just put in there. So, and thank you to anyone who has already. Appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be just the two of us today. And when we go, comic books, wrestling, we don't even got it. You know how we start early with the wrestling? Because, Darius isn't here.
We could talk about it whenever today, huh?
We want to do it. Well,
whenever.
Where we never actually go. We usually don't talk about the Power Rangers. I love that franchise. I'm sure you guys love that franchise too. At some point, you watched those movies. So over at San Diego Comic-Con, it's an early start, and we got my boy, where is he? This dude here, the Legacy of Nerd, breaking it down. The Hasbro situation there with the Power Rangers show that was shot, but then kind of canceled. But then the Percy Jackson guys are going to refresh it. What's going on with Disney Plus's Power Rangers?
Okay. Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot news. I am at San Diego Comic-Con. I just left the Hasbro private press event that they had this morning. I talked to the Hasbro rep that is in charge of the Power Rangers franchise. And what she told me is the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot is still in development. Now, it's not officially greenlit, but it is in development. It is not canceled. They're still working on it with Jonathan Steinberg, Dan Schatz from the Percy Jackson series. So I'm trying to get into the Hall H. I don't know if that's going to happen for the Percy Jackson panel, see, just in case they talk about it. But yeah, the Power Rangers reboot is still on.
Can you imagine if the Percy Jackson panel happens and everyone's just asking Power Rangers questions? Because it's Comic-Con, people care more about that than this novel, Percy Jackson.
That's not out of the question at all.
Development still. It hasn't officially been greenlit, but it's not canceled. That is the official position that Hasbro has on the Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot. I am here at San Diego Comic-Con. I am covering a lot of stuff here. So make sure that you're following me on all the apps, all the socials, because everything's going up in different places where I can get it up, when I can get it up. But that is the latest. Got you here. Disney Plus Power Rangers reboot is still in development and not canceled.
Thank you.
Disney.
His audio was kind of low still, but we got what we got. Thank you to the Legacy Nerd over there.
If you say so, bro.
But there's too much money to leave on the table. They have to do a Power Rangers. They own it. They got the rights to it. If they don't do it, someone else will. So I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, but the series is not the moneymaker, right? We know streaming series don't make money. So if they were going to do something to capitalize on the fact that they bought it, you would think it'd be a film. However, I would be good with a limited series, even if it was an ongoing thing. Power Rangers. I am weary of the quintessential Disney touch that seems to spread over every IP they purchase. But maybe it'll be a different track with Power Rangers. Maybe it'll go well. I will say the campy type of fantastic feel that Power Rangers gives off is up Disney's alley. It's what they want to do. It's what they would prefer to do. The ultra family oriented type of content.
The colorful.
Yeah, very bright, very colorful. But, remains to be seen whether or not they'll be successful with it.
A Disney Plus series is not going to make money, and they don't have the rights to make the toys. I think Hasbro still has those. So, what is their incentive really to build to a movie?
They could make the money off a theatrical run, but if they're not confident in it actually doing anything theatrically, then I guess put it on Disney Plus, see if it gets you more subs.
Yeah, that'd be a good movie idea. You have this Power Rangers show, and then one day you do the Morphing Grid movie where, yeah, there's these Power Rangers here, but remember all those Power Rangers from the last 30 years? Well, they've got this super mission, and then in that, it elevates the cast on the TV show because the Morphing Grid is down. This chaos in every universe. Yeah, there you go. Another franchise doing the multiverse.
I was about to say a Power Rangers multiverse story. Which, I mean, if it ain't broke, I guess.
The Japanese version was canceled. I know what that means. That would mean that, so there's a show called Sentai or Super Sentai, and every year they do a show and there's a new cast and they're all wearing different Power Ranger suits, but they're not called the Power Rangers. You take the footage from that and all the fighting and all the special effects and everything that's already spent money on that show, and you just have actors who speak English take off the helmet in one scene and do a talk, and you know, they're at the base and everything, and you save so much money on the action scenes because all you do is use this Japanese version where their faces are covered and it doesn't matter. You just have someone else voice over it while they're talking. So that show in Japan is no longer happening, which means they've got to make all original, which means that the budget for the show is way higher, which is worrisome. And Power Rangers has never not had this Japanese footage to rely on. Now it's crazy. It's just got to be good.
What are your top 5 Disney Plus series so far since Disney Plus has been thrust upon us?
Mandalorian.
Let's go. Yeah.
Andor, 100%. I'm kidding. Mandalorian.
I mean, if it's in your top 5, bro, it's in your top 5.
No, I don't know.
I go Mando, WandaVision.
9 episodes.
Yeah, Mando, WandaVision.
Half-hour episodes.
Can I get the 5? Loki. Tales of the Underground. Maul Underlord.
Bad Batch was good.
I didn't finish it.
I guess Clone Wars season 7 of Clone Wars counts if you want to.
Okay, I guess.
Those last 4 episodes were pretty epic. X-Men 97.
X-Men 97. There you go. X-Men 97. There you go. I know I was missing something.
Yeah.
So Mando, WandaVision, Loki, Maul Shadow Lords, Tales of the Underground. What was the last one? X-Men 97.
X-Men 97. And some of those Hulu shows that could show up on Disney Plus, like Paradise, would you count that?
That shit don't fucking count.
Okay.
It's good marketing though. It's a good way to impress upon people that your quality has increased and all you did was integrate somebody else's shit that they're still making. But hey, you know you bought it, so I guess you can claim it. It's all good. Just for God's sake, do not enter Hulu Studios and start doing shit. Let them keep making content the way that they're making content because it's doing well for you. People like The Bear. People like things like Paradise. I think Handmaid's Tale is on there. Like they got shit on there that people like. Don't touch it. You keep your Disney hands away from it and just let them keep growing your subscribership.
Okay. Understood. Doesn't count. Got it. I'm playing Pal World at the same time on my PC. LOL. Hey, Pal World. Pokemon knockoff. In the comic book world, there's reason to believe that Static is going to have a comic book that's going to be announced at Comic-Con because there is a panel where one of the people who are at the panel for DC Comics is Cody Ziegler. Cody Ziegler is not writing a comic book that's for DC, right? As we speak. So if he's part of a DC panel, it's to be part of something new. And because Cody Ziegler's skin is dark, and he did Miles Morales recently,
Because Cody Ziggler's black, he got to be doing static.
Yeah.
Only logical explanation.
Kinda. And it kind of sounds foul to say that, but it's Cody Ziggler is not really ascending the ladder over at Marvel. He's not really allowed to do anything. He's banned actually from Marvel. Guys, Marvel Comics, they said, Cody Ziggler, you can't do one of our flagship books with 500 issues. Nah, you're relegated to doing the miniseries and the up-and-comers. Can't do the big one. Oh, thanks for making so many comic book issues for Miles. Well, you got all the way to issue 40. Good for you. Oh, you want to do X-Men? No, Cody Ziggler, you can't do that. So DC over here has Cody Ziggler announced in one of these panels. What do we think? Do we think that it's for static? Yeah, I do.
We could hope so.
On Friday, July 24th, we will learn because he's going to be here at the Next Level panel with Joshua Williams, Hayden Sherman, Kyle Higgins, and Jerry Dugan. Cody Ziggler at 3 p.m., between 3 to 4 tomorrow morning, afternoon, is going to be announced for what comic book he's doing, the Next Level comic. And remember, Next Level is that initiative where they're giving a chance to people, to comic book characters who aren't traditionally always there. The Wonder Woman's, Flash, Green Lantern. So I think that's reason to believe it'll be somebody, maybe static, hopefully.
Who could it be if it's not going to be static? What are the other potentials?
Oh, Vixen, but Stephanie Williams would be Vixen. When it was announced the Next Level thing and like nobody was black and it was like 10 different books, Scott Snyder took to Twitter and he said, did you think that was only all of what we're going to do? This is only the first wave of Next Level books. Here we are probably 5 months later and we're going to get another wave, which, bro, don't tell me this was the plan the whole time. You're reacting. It took 5 months to get this next wave.
Oh, if you correct the action, I'm cool with you playing the fuck out of crazy and acting like it was your plan all along. It just has to be successful after the fact. Like, go ahead and save face if that's what you need to do. Just correct the action.
Okay, then that's what they'll do. And that's what will happen. The Next Level did have Jamal Campbell writing and art for Zatanna. So people are being given jobs who maybe one day it might be beneficial to know, okay, well, the guy who's doing the Miss Terrific book, what's he ever done? Well, he's also done Zatanna. He's also done, and like the list of his not filmography, bibliography. The list on his bibliography is long, so it's kind of helpful that jobs are being given. So I like it. I see value in it, even if Jamal Campbell's not doing Cyborg or something. He'll get a chance to do Cyborg and be typecast eventually. If it is black, I hope it's Black Lightning, Static, or Mal Duncan and Bumblebee comic book. Oh, Mal Duncan. Who's that? Don't let it be like a knockoff Superman. I'll pass on Mal Duncan, okay?
Where's he from?
He's a superhero in the 1970s. Is where he debuted. In the Teen Titans. Having numerous code names since his inception, the character has noted among the earliest, if not the first, African-American superhero in DC. Duncan is also, I don't care if he's first, by the way, if he's a Superman knockoff, he's a Superman knockoff. Duncan is also notable in being depicted in the first interracial kiss in comic book history with Lilith. Throughout publication, the character history has been subjected to various revisions, having been raised in either Harlem or Hell's Corner in Metropolis. Duncan has been portrayed as both a non-powered human and metahuman. After a chance encounter with the Titans, he subsequently joins the team as the second Guardian and, for a brief time, Hornblower. He becomes involved with Bumblebee, eventually culminating to a marriage. All right, then Mal Duncan and Bumblebee, like a married couple.
They call this man Hornblower. I'm a fucking riot. I'm going to riot. I'm gonna burn something down if they call him Hornblower.
Original version, Duncan had no superpowers. Okay, but the current version was formerly a metahuman whose powers allowed him to manipulate sound for a variety of purposes. Oh, that's why he's a hornblower. See, he manipulates the sound.
Please
including being able to emit ultrasonic vibrations through a scream similar to Black Canary. Oh, he's not a superhero. Superman clone then. He's his own guy.
I mean, I didn't find too many things bad about the description, other than his goddamn name, Hornblower.
Hmm.
Well, I'm sure
But I'm like,
somebody thought that was real funny when they came up with that.
but I'm opposed to like digging down and finding DC's 48th top black superhero and going, we'll make him important. No, let's just focus on the guys who are within people's
This is an
psyche.
age-old conversation for us. I don't feel like rehashing it again, but I know how you feel about it.
Nah, Call, he should be Guardian. And he doesn't have electric powers like most black characters.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So no Black Lightning for you. Well, whatever it is Cody Ziegler's supposed to be attached to over at DC. Because remember, you know what? He's also... But time out. I was going to say, he also writes TV shows, but that wasn't the TV show panel. Those were all comic book heads. So it's going to be for a comic book. Cody Ziegler. That's the upcoming news, because a static comic book is probably what it's going to be. If you are reading New Titans, you can pick up issue 38 next week, and you can see Static joins the team. He's on the cover and the variant covers too. And you can buy that comic book, and maybe if you haven't pre-ordered it, you buy that comic book, you sell that thing out, you make them want to make a second printing of it. That's always good news, because second printings get attention. I think second printings are misleading. I think you should have already put it on your pull so that we don't force a second printing. But hey, second printing, you know, everyone loves to retweet that. This is great. We have a second printing. All right. New Titans, issue 38. Look out for that. How
I mean,
optimistic?
on a basic level, second printings mean that your sales outproduced your projections, which could be the fault of the patron, or it could be the fault of the seller. But in a general sense, I guess outselling what they thought you were going to sell is not a bad thing. I understand you wanting to have the amount of orders on the first print, because then that means that's a book they have to keep writing. But, you know, if it outperforms, it outperforms. If it outperforms its projections, that's not necessarily on the creator of the book, or the, you know, or really on the audience, right? If somebody naturally finds something that they like and it starts spreading like wildfire, isn't that what we want to happen to comics?
Yeah, if it's natural, right? Or if it's something that organically is happening. This has been announced months in advance. We've had like 2 months of knowing that Static would be on the New Titans. So it is a failure, not on anybody, because it's issue 38, not issue 2, not issue 3. They've, for 38 months, your comic book store has knowledge of how many New Titans to bring to their shop and how many they're, you know, to sell. So they know, okay, look, last month I brought 13 to my store. The month before it was about 13 to my store. The month before it was about 13 to my store. How much are they going to bring this month? Probably 13. It really is up to us, the customers, to tell them, guys, I'm now interested in buying this comic book because Static is going to be on it. So it is a huge failure upon the customers for not letting people know at their shops, letting all of our shops all over the world, that we're going to be picking up this book when it comes out in August.
I don't know, man. You're asking a lot from the consumers. You're asking a lot from consumers.
Well,
Be like, hey, it's not enough for you to walk in the store and just buy the book. No. You gotta tell the person that you bought it from, hey, I plan on coming back and buying this again. Have a reoccurring, you know, pool of this book for me. And I get it. This comic books is a very particular business.
Yeah.
It would behoove them, maybe. I mean, I don't know how you even ask them to do this, because they're dealing with very thin margins. It's not like they can just erroneously buy more books. But somewhere along this pipeline, from writer all the way down to comic book store owner handing you your books, somewhere along there, we have to figure out the issue of why we have to do it like that, without it being all on the consumer. Because again, the idea is to grow, or to at least be able to sustain at the level that we're at right now, so you could possibly pass this down to your kids. And if that's the idea, then you have to make yourself accessible. And the one thing that, you know, manga, well, I guess they kind of ask it of you too, but not to the same degree as comic books, because they don't have this type of financial straits. A lot of things that kids are into today, they're not putting a very high barrier of entry. They're not asking you to do a lot to get into it, or to make sure that the business is healthy. right? Simply engaging with it at a tangential, level is enough. So how do we convince people to continue to be interested in this like kind of archaic art form without making it easier for them to get into it? Is kind of the idea.
Okay, yeah, that's just like because I'm not disagreeing with you. It's like an indictment on the comic book industry of that.
Yeah,
This is why
yeah.
it has to be this way, but
Yep.
it is that way, and it's for the success of other Black comic book characters, and for comic books not being canceled all left, right, and center, is to the benefit of that positive result that customers know how this works and tells their shops in advance that you want the comic book that they're advertising. New Titans issue 39. Get that book. New Titans, because Static is there now. And now when DC sees, oh my God, when we put Static on the team, this book sells. That's great, right? Rather than the second printing route, which is, oh, we didn't print enough because we just printed how many New Titans we were always printing. And then, oh, surprise, surprise, all the books are out. I mean, they're going to tout it like it's a positive thing. But I'm going to say, well, this is just clear that milestone readers aren't on the ball with pre-orders. Chill and Marcus, my goats. Don't forget to include Planet Fanatics Darius in that conversation. Stamina's in the building.
Stamina MC.
Hey, what's happening with Supercell, bro? Where are we at? They filmed and they finished that part, and the main villain isn't going to return because he got arrested in real life, right?
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if that's what's causing the delay. Because that, I feel like that if that shouldn't cause you to have to go back and reshoot the entire show. I don't think, because unless he was playing a very, very big role in season 2, it shouldn't have been all that. He died at the end of season 1, presumably. We didn't see it, but we could have just
He's dead now.
Yeah, he could have just left it that way. So why would it have taken that long to fix that? I think there's something else afoot here. Something doesn't smell right.
I want a
smell test.
A Michael poster behind Chill with 1 billion written in all caps. With the power of green screen, I could probably do that. Man, it's been 10 years since season 1 of Supercell.
Ain't been that long.
They done found a cure for sickle cell before Supercell season 2 comes out. I did see a news update about somebody who's reversed his sickle cell disease, excuse me. Yeah. Who even remember the story of Supercell? Yeah, you can't even remember how to spell it. It was Super, right? It wasn't Super. Super. Come on now.
What you guys are doing right now is you're being hyperbolic. You're exaggerating beyond reasonable measure.
Get your eyes orange. I might have a reason to rewatch that show, actually, because it's been so long. Yeah.
Y'all will wait 2 years on the next Game of Thrones. Y'all can't give Supercell a year. Can't give him a full year.
For the next Avatar, where he's much older. It's kind of off-putting. I've seen it now. I've seen the whole season of Avatar Netflix. Good stuff. Man, I liked watching it. They made some changes with when the library episode happens. They've made, but the Toph actress is top notch, bro. I loved watching her.
So I liked it until it got to that part, like kind of like the middle of the season. Most of the Ba Sing Se, the Dai Li episodes, like I get it. That was a big part of them being in Ba Sing Se, and kind of what delayed them in their, attempts to prepare to fight the Fire Nation. But some of the rearranging that they did, I didn't care for, like how Jet wasn't with his homeboys when he died. Like he had left them and never reconciled it though. So he meets up with Zuko, meets up with Zuko, tries to fight the non-bending firebenders, and then meets up with Katara and helps Aang and them get into the library. The library's not in the middle of the desert. It's in the middle of the city. Appa's not stolen by underground. Appa's not stolen by like desert pirates. He's stolen by the Dai Li. And it was like a lot of changes. Even the final scene where Azula hits Aang with the lightning bolt. Like it was shocking, but it wasn't what I felt when I was watching that television show. Like you felt like they was about to get away. It's like, damn, once again, the Avenger or the Avatar gang escapes by the skin of their teeth. Oh, bam! And get hit flying away on Appa. And I don't know if it was that sequence exactly, but for some reason, them trying to revive Aang at the end did not hit the same as them just fading to black after he got hit with that shit in the actual series. Like a lot of stuff didn't carry over emotionally. I said this about the Uncle Iroh's video on the anniversary of his son's death, right? Whole day, Iroh's in this funk. Nobody can really get him out of it. And the episode is really focused on Iroh being in this funk, and nobody knows why, right? Then we finally see him, sit down underneath that tree, start singing that little Soldier Boy song, and a little tear crept out of my little pre-adolescent eye. You know what I'm saying? It didn't deliver emotionally like that in the live action. That could be because we're looking at actual human beings, and you gotta do something different, to affect that way. Could be some of the changes that they made in the story, but I didn't like some of the sequencing towards the middle of the season, and then some of the things that they changed. I don't know. I know you couldn't do everything, so I'm trying to cut them a little bit of bail because it's still enjoyable to watch. But I didn't care for a lot of the changes later in the season.
For 7 episodes, we got what we got.
Yeah, you got what you can get.
Sorry. 7 episodes. And next season, I think you need to extend it. Don't know how though.
This is supposed to be the final season, but we're still in Ba Sing Se. It's supposed to be the last season.
Do you do the Sparky Boom Boom Man, the thing with the eyes? I heard viewership is low for this, so do they even want to
spend half of their audience?
Just half? Okay.
Yeah, they lost half of their audience.
Now, maybe goodwill and audience will start watching it in between, because Game of Thrones increased their viewers throughout the years. They went 8 seasons. That's all. It always could happen where like no one watched it right away, but maybe they'll stream it in the next following months and they'll go, okay, well, look, the viewers are here.
I mean, maybe even still losing half of your audience when you premiere it's a Black Panther level of audience loss.
Coming out of this Paramount Plus movie that they just put up, there may be some Avatar goodness happening, and maybe someone's going to be like, I want to watch the Avatar movie, and they're on Netflix, but they don't have it, but they have this, and people will watch that. You ever watch for something like you ever want to watch a TV show? It's on Prime, but you're on Netflix and you're searching it, and then you don't really find the show, but you find something maybe in the same franchise,
something close. Yeah, I guess it's
that's probably not that many people. It's probably not 10 million people who are going to do that.
Like, has it happened to me before? Yes, it has. Is that a regular occurrence? Probably not. So I think what they're just trying to bank on is that they can do good enough in the final season to just kind of put a cap on it. I mean, it's the last season, so it's not like you really got all that much to really the fast tracking that we've already felt to this point can only get faster because they have so much left to cover and 8 episodes to try and clean it up in. So, do the best you can. Make the fight with oh my God, what's that man's name?
Fire Lord Ozai.
Ozai, yeah, there you go. Ozai, yeah. Try to make the fight with Ozai as big as possible. Honestly, when they finally actually got down to it, I felt like that fight was a little bit lackluster. I felt like we seen better fights on the way up into the fight with Fire Lord Ozai than that one.
He was flying.
Sure. No. The fight underneath the city in Ba Sing Se with the Azula, Iroh, and Zuko against it with Aang was better than the Fire Lord Izo fight for sure.
It was also really good in the live action show. That fight was cool to me. Mm-hmm. And seeing Zuko turn on the Avatar, even though it looked like him and Katara had some sort of understanding, right? Uncle Iroh was like, he's good. We're on the same team right now. Don't worry. Nah, bro. And the Dai Li are out here. And we know what they're going to do. They're going to be in the Fire Nation probably episode 3 of next season. They're going to be there in Day of Black Sun to help them out for that 10 minutes.
You know what else has suffered from the speed of this? Some of the romances. We're moving way too fast with Aang and Katara. It feels forced, doesn't feel natural. Doesn't really feel like they have all that great of energy, like chemistry together. Zuko about to lose a fucking love interest because that shit needs to be scrapped in season 3. We don't have time for it. They just randomly threw it in at the end of this season, like, oh, and you love Zuko, do you? Because you've been hunting him this entire time without even a fainting concern. So love means something different in the Fire Nation these days.
If it was a 10-episode season, you think we would get that?
I think you would have more room to try to spread out some of the stuff that they had to cut. If you have additional episodes, now you can kind of spread some of those details out across the season a little bit more efficiently. 8 episodes for a story like this, it's tight. It's tight.
Yeah. I'm so upset at viewers. I'm so upset at people not watching Avatar right now.
Why? Listen to everything we're describing. Listen to what's been cut, what's been changed. It's like asking them to accept a lesser version in live action, which is preposterous.
Just make sure that the franchise is winning. I need this franchise to be on fire like it was in 2020. And maybe
they were on fire like they were in 2020.
Huh. Though, what would be cool is if, all the viewers who are watching the first season are also here for the second and the third, and then they go, why don't we make a 4th season, all original story? I'd go, cool. That would be nice. The makings of what's the city called? What's the city in Legend of Korra? Central City?
I don't want that. You said original story with Korra?
No, an original story with the cast of Aang, of Katara, Sokka.
In that city.
It would just be season 4. And they would be, okay, what happens after they unite the world and Zuko takes the place as the Fire Lord and all that stuff? That would be cool. If you can give me 10 episodes of it, that'd be nice.
Wouldn't that what the movie was supposed to be about?
They live long lives. Yeah, the movie was post Nickelodeon show. Yes, you're right. That was one thing that they did, which was finding this spoilers, finding this airbender from the past.
All of that stuff, yeah.
Like that, that happened. But other things happened too. And it wasn't called Central City, it was called Union City.
You got me on Legend of Korra. I'm not the biggest fan.
How much of it did you see?
No, I saw all of it. I haven't rewatched it. Like I finished it one time and never revisited it.
I watched it for the first time. No, I watched it last year. The first go through that I gave it, I only watched, I think, the first season, and I was kind of like not really focused on it, probably playing Pokemon. Whoa.
This makes
Someone
like
airbended
3
it.
streams that this shit keeps falling off the wall for me. It's a hat. It doesn't matter what I stick it up with. I've stick them up there. I've used all different type of tapes. It just does not want to stay up there.
Is it a Lakers hat?
No, it's my for my fraternity.
Okay.
But go ahead.
But Netflix is not the only people with some Avatar goodness. It is San Diego Comic-Con, right? You guys think it's all about Marvel and DC? No, just told you about the Power Rangers. How about some Avatar 3? It's called Seven Havens. It takes place after Korra. I think her name is Pavi. I'll watch the trailer. I'll pull it up right now. Pavi is the one who's the Avatar now. And they gave us a trailer for this Paramount Plus TV show of Avatar 7 Havens. Avatar's that franchise, bro. Okay, what? Is Avatar?
No, I believe you. Yeah, it's that franchise for sure.
It is. See, there's Star Wars. Okay, everyone loves Star Wars.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. There's Star Wars, and then Fast and Furious is next.
And yeah. The 2 juggernauts of franchise, of world building, of character building, family, all that good stuff.
Family.
And then
Why do you look like Me.
Twin, where have you been?
Alora needs to be prepared, because long ago our ancestors weren't. And the Avatar let us down.
Korra. What did Korra do?
You think that was Korra? How far in
Yeah.
the future is this? Why does it look like technology has gone away? Like, we had cars and shit. Why are we carrying swords? Okay, never mind. All right. That's some type of speeder.
Humanity
bike.
is not ready for the Avatar's return. And yet, it's the one thing this world needs the most.
It's the thunderstorm. What? Oh, it's got more trailer. Hold on. Volcano. What the heck was that? Another
Yeah, I
harmonic
don't know. Is that supposed to
convergence?
make a? Yeah, I don't know what that is. Okay. So, first of all, you do think that I was Korra. Well, I guess yeah, it could be her.
That's Korra.
Whatever she did. I'm wondering what's going on with the setting. This is beyond Korra's time. So why does it look like we went and took a step backwards technologically?
Because until the motorcycles.
Yeah, until the motorcycles, it felt pretty medieval.
Yeah. Right around here.
And then I don't know, man. I guess I'm down with kid characters and maturing as the story goes along. I mean, that's how Avatar started, right? But like, they seem really young. Like I didn't feel like it was going to be like this young. This is like, it's not young adult young. This is like Disney Junior young. How long is it going to take them to grow up? When are we going to get the first like age bump?
I think
like
Korra had a 3-year age bump in one of those seasons.
Okay, that's cool as long as it happens relatively early. I feel like watching the coming of age process step by step is different when you're not actually coming of age. Like I'm just gonna be sitting up here doing what I'm doing with the Yanu and be like, all right, let's get to the more mature stuff, please. Let's advance this storyline beyond deep people bad, Elu good. You know, very surface level.
She's about the age of Ianu here. She's not older than 13. Whatever her age is here, though, let's call it 12 years. So Korra has to die, and then 12 years has to pass at least. If Korra, but how old is Korra in this flashback here? She's got like a gray streak here.
Yeah, she's at least like an older woman, 50s,
50?
60s, maybe.
When
If
we
she's
last
representing white hair, they're saying that she's aged, she's seasoned.
Yeah, Korra doesn't have to grow up until she reaches the age of 94 and then dies, and then 12 years pass, and then Pavi gets born, right? So it doesn't have the age gap. Like, this may just be probably 30 years after Korra. So all the characters that we met, all of Aang's grandkids who are airbenders, we can see them. They could still be alive. Tenzin could still be alive.
Does it look like? Where'd the cities go? Do they just live out in the middle of nowhere, maybe?
Marcus, are you complaining? Like that's what thing it is. Like Korra.
I'm not complaining. I'm asking questions. I've watched the trailer. Now I have questions based off of what we saw.
Yeah. The world is not the way that it was. Things went wrong.
So then that's telling me that something cataclysmic happened. There was some world-ending event. Maybe even whatever this is that Korra was involved in, maybe that resulted in the world looking at the way it is now. Maybe that's why there's such a stigma about the new Avatar coming back. That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to put the puzzle pieces together based off the trailer.
Okay. The puzzle is Korra, not good Avatar. We saw her in season 2 make it so that the spirit world
gone.
the spirit world and the regular world, the one with Earth, they're
Mhm.
united now. Like things are gonna happen, and I think that the
Oh,
two
I
worlds
thought you were talking about
joining.
all the past avatars that she fucking deleted, like the avatar registry.
Yeah, I can't believe they did that. Maybe there's a way to get it back. I would love for them to get it back somehow.
She fucking hit delete all. Like, god damn it.
Yeah, but maybe sometimes you save it on another USB stick and then you can bring it.
No, she hit delete all twice.
What was it? It was the villain was using water and like striked her, and every time he strikes her, she lost an avatar memory. That's how it happened. I gotta watch the end of season 2 or 3, whichever season. I gotta watch.
I'm never watching that shit again. And they actually got some pretty decent villains on there too. That was the one thing that kept me watching that show. Is like the villains were like, they were real villains. Like it wasn't, oh, poor tortured Zuko, he gotta go find an avatar. And it was like, nah, these are baddies. Zaire, the guy who was around there flying.
Best villain. Better than
That shit was
Firelord.
hard. I'm not gonna lie, this shit was hard.
Better than Ozai.
Definitely better. I thought Ozai was disappointing to me, man.
Better than Azula. Maybe.
I don't think he was nearly as crazy as Azula. I think Azula was unhinged. Zaire had motivations and he was willing to be extreme to get them, but he wasn't insane. Azula is insane.
When Zaire lost the attachment to the girl he was with, now I can finally, he could fly because that was the last thing an airbender needed. The last attachment is gone.
Nah, absolutely badass villain though. She has some pretty good. The guy in the mask, the dude, the one dude,
Amon.
Amon, yeah, he was pretty good too.
Grand Region Thrag says another female-centric story. I don't think it matters for the Avatar.
Yeah, the biggest thing wrong with Korra wasn't that she was female. She was an idiot. That was pretty much the gist there.
I give you points for the business reasons. Maybe a male won't connect with this. The action stuff is supposed to be boy driven, and then they see a girl, they go, I don't care, I guess. But like, there's Powerpuff Girls and other Kim Possible. There's been shows that appeal to boys with females.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
That's right.
They got motorcycles and niggas ain't wearing shoes. I'm trying to figure out why they just muttering around in the desert with backpacks and cloaks. But again, that's probably due to whatever the hell Korra had going on here that made her be the failure avatar, besides what we've already seen.
If the show is called Seven Havens, maybe there are 7 places in the world that are okay. And those are the havens. One of the havens would be a place where they've got motorcycles and technology didn't really stop. But the whole rest of the world is just cataclysmically affected.
Yeah.
Just lion turtles all over the place.
Which is something that can help me get interested while these kids grow the fuck up, because there's not going to be much jeopardy to me about got preteen twins, especially when they get to the filler stuff. Obviously, every Avatar series we've ever watched has filler episodes. And so the filler episodes for like 10-year-old characters is just not going to appeal to me, and I want to stay engaged with it. And like, as a fan of the franchise, as you said, I want it to keep going, want it to be good. But like, I'm not going to pace backwards. Like the original Avatar series made me feel more adult, made me feel grown up, that I was watching that I was, it had a progressing storyline. It didn't talk down to me. It treated me like I was mature enough to follow along with it and actually be engaged. That's what I'm looking for in the franchise, not just one project. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be a thing that goes away. I want that to be a thing a calling card, if you will, for the franchise.
In the foreground, I see the technology isn't saying much. There's walls, though. And I wonder what for. Are there beasts and animals that they've got to protect themselves here for all these walls? And then in the background, I guess the center of the city, you got some sort of architecture there that is man-made, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the inner city of Boston, say, and then the outer cities of Boston, say, with walls up. what are the walls to protect? That's the question. Like, what is the threat that a wall can stop? So nothing that can fly, I guess. Maybe like
And I mean,
coyotes.
this looks advanced somewhat, right? It's just it ain't shit around it. It's like, what happened? You know, like you said, outer ring, inner ring of Ba Sing Se. This could potentially be Ba Sing Se in whatever time we're in. But damn, something happened that was pretty sizable in that 30-year gap.
I think the most important thing for me would be I want all the characters from Korra who I've met to still be in this show. I know that we had Sokka's sister Katara. She was basically Gran when it came to Legend of Korra. We saw her, but she didn't really do much. Zuko had a few lines and it was a mission or two, but like they didn't really contribute. Toph, it took until the last season to get Toph in Legend of Korra. This time around, if you can just tell me that Korra, when we last left her when she was like 22, the last time we saw her, she was 22 years old. She probably dies at 45. That would mean 30 or 40 years later, Pavi is here. And I guess there's a lot of chaos that have happened in 40 years. But if you can only jump ahead 40 years, then shoot, some of those babies of Tenzin are old enough to be like in their prime. They could be wise. They can still be able to fight. They could be mayors and they could be like leaders and generals and stuff like that.
Last airbenders on Earth. Well, other than Korra, I guess. Well, no, Korra gone. So yeah.
But don't you remember in one of the later seasons they explained how there's more airbenders? Like the ones Zahir got one. People got powered ups. So yeah, there's some airbenders out that exist again because of what she did.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I do remember that. It's like her bringing back or her integrating the spirit world. Didn't it have something to do with that too?
Yes. So like I guess balance was restored. People with the airbending gene that was dormant, it just awakened now. One of Aang's kid, the Boomy, I think Boomy was he never had the airbending until that season. They did it at season 3. Yeah, so that was
Aang's kid Boomy. Man, look at the storytelling.
Would you ever? Never mind. I don't want to get into your personal life and what you would name your kids and what you wouldn't name your kids.
Go ahead.
Would you name your kid after somebody who, like, a friend of yours, or would you like? I don't think
it would have to be a really good friend. Would I ever name my kid Josh? I would do it if I got a full-on guarantee that his next child would be Marcus. I would be that petty. I would hold it over him. It'd be like a handshake agreement. If your next born son can be named Marcus, then this one can be Josh.
But what happens?
Hands shake.
It's been your hands are shaking. But what happens when one day Josh goes, I'm with the Zio agenda. What if Josh's political views change and he starts grifting? What happens then? Then you got a kid named after a guy who you don't really want to honor anymore.
Oh, okay. I see. If we have a breakdown, it's too. I mean, my relationship at that point is with the kid.
See, Boomy died already, so Aang's like, I'm good with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he died a real one, so we can stand on that.
He died at 110, right? Like, they stretched that to make Aang have one friend that was still alive from his era 100 years ago. They really stretched that.
Yeah.
Well, Boomy was, I guess, our only guy from 100 years ago in the first show. And then, yes, in Legend of Korra, we got to see some of Aang's friends. Not too many of them. This time around, bro, it's so important to me to have the time gap be quick. Korra dies an early death just so that we can get characters we're familiar with. I don't want to have to meet new people. I'd rather just stay.
I don't want to have to meet new people.
I don't want to have to meet too many new people. Maybe your best friend, Pavi. Maybe whoever your twin is that we just saw earlier. That person, that's going to be a new person. Where is it? Where's your twin? Where's your twin? Here. You and you. There's two characters right there. On the left is Pavi. On the right, I forget her name. Maybe I forgot it. But like, I want to meet you.
They'll end up sharing the Avatar mantle. You think that's how that'll play out?
I could see something like that. Like, you can firebend on Sundays, I can waterbend on Tuesdays.
No, for real. Like on maybe the Avatar, the one that's supposed to be the Avatar, can't master an element, or is at least weak in one of the elements, and then the other twin ends up being strong in that element and weak in the ones that the first Avatar is good in. They end up having to work together, kind of thing.
Then they got to team up and like remember Piccolo and who's the other Namek that they had? Remember how they like joined forces, to become a super Namek?
Super Namek.
There, maybe that's what happens. She only does the earth bending and water.
That was when they were fighting Vegeta. That was like in one of the first sagas.
And by the ending of it, you were split at birth because of the Ko, the face stealing god, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because of Ko, the face stealing god.
Well, or another one, maybe Go, his brother. So we got pretty lame animation, if you ask me. I didn't like how smooth it looked.
A little basic. It was a little basic.
Korra
I swear, animation is not. Well, I won't say that generally, but some of the newer animation styles, to me, is not an improvement. It may be faster, maybe more efficient. You know, you're operating with more megapixels, whatever the hell. But like, I still look back at some of the stuff from like late 80s, early 90s animation style, and I'm like, yo, our stuff doesn't look this good today. I can tell it's more expensive. I can tell it took more to add some of the details, and you know, I was, for one, I wasn't all that, well, I was also a kid, but when they had finally gotten to the point where they could match the lip movements on some of these animated characters to match the words that are coming out of their mouth, that's just a feature that I didn't need. I didn't need it. Like, it just wasn't. I could have stuck with the, you know, unambiguous while all the words are coming out, if it was going to save us some of the rougher edges we're seeing in animation these days, because this doesn't feel like an improvement. It looks more expensive, does look more modern, but better. Nah. OG series is killing this animation.
I had that in X-Men 97. I had that watching Arthur in the later seasons. Like, whoa, this is different. Like, the mouths are just odd to me.
Yeah. It's like they're actually talking, and now I'm a little bit weirded out.
As you can see here, there's a hug, so it's not the evil twin, or she's being fake, but it doesn't look like they're fake. Yeah, but they were fighting earlier, and both were using earthbending here at this portion of the trailer. They're both earthbending. And Earth is next on the cycle. Yeah, Roku was fire, Angus was air, then Korra did water bending, so the next would be Earth.
That's dope. Earthbender Avatar.
Yeah, we got an Earthbender Avatar. She's young and hoping for a time skip, hoping for flashbacks. It's interesting because the world is the world right now. Like, look at that place.
Hey, let's handle the elephant in the room. Because I mean, both of these characters are mighty brown. Is Avatar getting their first black characters? What kind of Asian is that? They don't look like anybody who's, well, I mean, I guess you can get darker skinned in Western Asia, but like not the type of what we have become accustomed to in the series. We get our first Blasians.
Yeah, but look at the hair texture of them. And
that's why I said Blasian. The hair texture it suggests that they're from the land, but the skin tone says maybe there's something a little bit extra mixed in there.
Oh, it's gonna be on streaming, so it is what it is. Dude said Polynesian.
It is what it is.
Another one's asking about the males and the females. You want to touch this?
I mean, look, I don't necessarily begrudge you for feeling that way, but at the end of the day, if this is a reaction to how the last series went with Legend of Korra, if that's where it's born out of, I would just continue to say that series in general had more problems than just her being a female. That would have been the least of the things that I had a problem with. So, you know, give it a fair shake. At least see what it's like before we, you know, condemn it to hell for for having a female in the lead role.
Yeah,
Essentially.
Ubu, tell me why. You said they should have gone with the male avatar. Explain why. I'd like to hear it. What angle are you taking with it? Nothing was wrong with her being female for Korra.
Yeah.
Well, why should they have gone with a male character? You rooting for the home team, Oob? Like, what's going on?
Polynesians? Oh, she's a Polynesian now. She's an islander. We didn't got far away from England. And he says she's Middle Eastern. Now it's a whole debate over whether or not where she is. Whatever she is, she's not Aang or Korra, or at least not all of them.
On the map in Avatar, which of the continents would have, if we make sense, it would be somewhere in the center of the world, right? But
it's because she's got to be an earthbender, right? So the southern, is there any southern earthbending cities that we didn't talk about in the southern part of the Earth Kingdom? Because you go further south and then you're in the Southern Water Tribe.
Avatar map. And they better not show me the blue people. See, that's how much. See that? Look at that. It didn't show me the James Cameron Avatar. All right, boom. Earth Kingdom is pretty.
It's huge. Large. So you could have all different type of shades in the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah. And if it's Republic City, I think is what it's called. The main one where
Korra lived, or where she went to, I guess, because she was from the Southern Water Tribes. That's where she was living when the show started, right?
Yeah, she was Southern Water Tribe. You're right. So why are they like? There's no sun over in the south in the Southern Water Tribe. 6 months you get sun on, and then so why was her skin darker than someone of that part of the world? It should be. So look, I think what the equator runs.
You basically got a tan in Antarctica.
Equator runs through parts of the Fire Nation and parts of the Earth Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that's where dark skin, if we're using science. But again, like I just mentioned earlier, Korra is from over here, but Korra's skin was darker than it should have been, right? So it's illogical.
Oh no, I just thought that was interesting as well. It's the fact that those are the brownest characters we've seen in the franchise so far. So
yeah, worth noting.
So
much of the draw for Frozen was the female heroine for young girls.
I would agree.
It's also a princess.
This is not Frozen though. Yeah. This is not Frozen. This is male. I won't say it's male. Well, it is male targeted to a certain degree. It's male oriented, and it's based on a different type of quest. It's still quest driven, but it's a different type of quest. Like Elsa wasn't out there fighting snow monsters. You know what I'm saying? It was more sort of a therapy session with her ice princess sister. So Ice Queen.
Battery says that Inuit people live in the Arctic and have darker skin at times.
Interesting.
I don't know enough. Don't Inuit people travel?
I've never even heard of that word.
Aren't they nomadic though? So they do dip down and then they go back up, or no?
No clue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. And then when did they get there? Did they get there from a part of the world that is darker and it just?
Hey man, I'm starting to realize that there are dark-skinned indigenous people everywhere. I'm almost to the point where I believe that they're like every indigenous person might have just been darker skinned, because we're everywhere, bro. Like there are indigenous black people all around the world in parts where we wouldn't even think we're supposed to be. There are indigenous black people in Ireland, like not just people who migrated there and made their way there. No, people who were,
So the question is, why did human beings who produce less melanin, how many years of away from sun do you got to be? How many generations? How many generations does it take to kick in? Because if Inuit people have dark skin, it's like maybe they just got there.
Oh, you're saying how would it? So because it's more
1,000 years.
So I know it's funny to talk about it like it's a tanning thing, like you don't have enough sun. But in actuality, it's more of a genetic thing For some reason or another, the humanoids, or the step before we get to what is our name? What's our scientific name?
Homo sapien.
Homo sapien. There you go. Close the step before we got to Homo sapien. For some reason or another, the people in the very, very far reaches of the north, the ones who dwelled in caves for long swaths of their existence, also had a genetic precursor that calcified their melanin glands, which keeps them from being able to produce melanin. That trait perpetuated amongst the people, or the humanoid, whatever that link is, perpetuated against each other. They made it with each other, and so it persisted until you built out an entire race. It persists for eons, and it persists for centuries, and all of a sudden every humanoid in that area has the same genetic precursor, and that's how you get things like white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, is generations of breeding with the same genetic precursors.
Okay. My theory would be maybe it's got less to do with north and south. No, that plays a part. But it's like in England where it's cloudy and the sun is up, but it's just behind the clouds. That deficiency of the sun is causing for people who live in that part of the world to not need melanin, and generation by generation. That's why in Europe, that portion of the world, people get really light. But like if you're Inuit and you're in this continent, you may be really north. There may be, but there's longer days. You see what I mean? So it's just a matter of clouds, I think. Clouds it is. Final answer. Inuit are basically Japanese, separated only 100 years, only hundreds of years ago, though. Maybe not thousands. Then there you go.
I don't know if I believe you, Charles. You might just be trolling me from eating whale and sea lions. That's funny.
Your diet doesn't play a factor, though.
Well, there are a lot of things that play a factor. I'm just saying lack of sunlight is not it's not wholly responsible for producing white people. It's a genetic thing. You had one person who couldn't get dark skin because of genetics, and then he made it, and then his children made it, and then their children made it, and then they just kept mating until all that was left in that area that was separated at this point during the breakup of Pangea. So that's all you have to mate with, and just created a bunch of, Caucasus Mountain dwellers.
Okay, got it. Got to get all the way back to Pangea.
Yeah, yep. There you go.
Legend of Seven Havens is coming out in October, and it will be streamed. Weekly episodes, I hope, because you got to build momentum. It's working for other shows. I don't care what they say. X-Men 97, the shows that Disney wants to be successful, they do weekly. The shows they don't care about, here's the dump. So there it is.
Oh, that's a fact. We've been said that, though. We've been identified that when they did that with Ironheart, when they did that with what was the last show that they did that with before
Wonder
Ironheart?
Man.
Wonder Man. Yep, they did it with Deaf Chick. What's her name? Kingpin.
Echo?
Deaf Chick. Echo. Did the same thing with Echo. If they don't really have confidence that the project is going to do exceedingly well, we're going to get a lot of good buzz for the streaming service, they will dump it all at one time to survive the negative onslaught and move on from it as fast as possible.
And to chart. Knuckles came out April 26, 2024, and it was all of the episodes all at once.
Yep, I don't think they expected Knuckles to do anything, which I watched that short series with my son, and it did actually get referenced in Sonic 3. So it kind of paid off. They found a way to work it into the overarching story, but it wasn't something that you had to absolutely see. If you watched it, then you knew what was going on, and you kind of saw it and tipped the hat to yourself. If you didn't, it still worked within the movie, and you didn't really miss out on anything. Lawrence, I'm telling you, there's a lot of shit that shit might not end up going through. The EU passed it. Damn the EU. Damn the EU. Because the lawsuit from the states They just got a temporary restraining order. So their lawsuit has to be finished before Paramount and Warner Brothers can even merge. September 30th is like doomsday for Paramount. Because at September 30th, not only do they have to pay Warner Brothers $7 billion right up front for the deal not being closed. Got to pay them 7 Bs up front. Then, after they pay the 7 Bs up front, every single fiscal quarter that deal is not done, they got to pay each shareholder on Warner Brothers $650 million per quarter that the deal's not done. So after this long ass court case gets drug out, let's say it goes 6 months to a year. 6 months is 2 fiscal quarters, roughly. Well, it's about 2 quarters. So you're talking about 1.1. Yeah, do I have my math right here? Yeah, $1.1 billion per shareholder every 6 months. Every 6 months until the court case is over. Plus, you gave 7 Bs up front. Come on, man. I don't even know how many shareholders they have, but that's insanity. That's insane. They're gonna pay that $7 billion and get the fuck up out of there. Trump, we tried. Okay, we tried everything we could. We overpaid for it. We didn't got this UAE money. We didn't got this Saudi money. I got my dad to back me and say that he was gonna purposely finance it, and his company is hemorrhaging money at the moment. We just don't. We tried, bro. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. That shit is not going to get through. Plus, even if by some miracle it didn't play out like that, which it certainly is hurtling towards playing like that, the shareholders, the people who stand to gain the most from this purchase at Paramount, are suing the Ellisons. Because they said that they did some illegal backroom deal shit with the Trumps to even make this deal go through. And that they kind of strong-armed the deal on everybody. Nobody even wanted to do this. So like, I don't want to get too happy because, you know, these things seem to always have a way of working out for the folks that are in power. But this might
there you go. That's my thoughts. Yes.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. But as it's currently set up, there isn't any legal wiggle room to get out of what they would have to pay. So the only way that this can even continues to go on as a question about whether or not they will purchase Warner Brothers is if they come out an exorbitant amount of money, like absolutely more than the $110 million you paid to buy it initially, because that bill still has to come due if the purchase even comes through. So imagine spending billions just to keep the sale intact, just to have to come back after that and spend $110 billion to buy it. The 110 that you had to overextend yourself and go to the Middle East to fund in the first place.
Yeah. Billions is nothing. It's pennies. It's just a matter of zeros.
No. There's not unlimited money in the world. There is a number that's too much, even for a rich person. They don't get rich just throwing money away at bad deals. And this was a bad deal to start.
They're not rich people. It's the same people. It's selling from Warner Brothers to Paramount. It's like it's taking money from the left hand of the pocket to the right hand of the pocket.
I understand politically that's probably pretty accurate. It's not literally accurate. And so, Warner Brothers, Paramount, who cares if you own it? It's the same deal. That's not literally the case, especially when you talk about the amount of pockets that stand to be filled off of whether or not the deal goes through or doesn't go through anyways. So it's not a zero-sum game in total. I think David Zaslav taking that $7 billion and going back to work like he was bragging about doing months ago is the best case scenario for all of this. Even though, yes, he may be a Zionist and he may be just as bad as what Ellison might have. Well, I think it's provable that he won't be as bad as what Ellison could be with that company and with all of the cable stations, because they're not that now. They're not what they could be under Paramount presently. So I think it's provable that he's not as bad as the Ellison.
You mean that they're less right wing?
Well, that the impact of ownership will not be felt across so many spectrums. If the Ellisons own Warner Brothers, you
They'll
can
go
expect
heavier.
the cultural impact to be a lot heavier than if it's continuously owned by David Zaslav.
That I kind of want that. Like, don't be so discreet with it. Actually, be overt with it and make people want to go see, the next studio. What's Mark Wahlberg? Not Mark Wahlberg. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They've got a little studio thing going on there. Like, let's give them attention. Let's create the desire for another studio. Yeah, be overt with it.
I think this deal is shot because eventually it's going to become. You have to make this money back, and when your flagship is struggling, what is that man? What is not David Ellison, Larry Ellison, Oracle.
Uh-huh.
When Oracle is struggling the way it is, I think they lost 36 billion in market share or something like that.
Yeah,
this
but
quarter.
the government will bail them out. Money means nothing. Government will take care of all of them. Didn't
everybody
the
can't get bailed out at the same time? They can't get bailed out at the same time. And then, okay, so you're gonna bail me out for Oracle and then turn around and bail me out for Paramount and Warner Brothers too? Because that if they do this, if they pay them 110 after the deal's done and then pay them all the money in between just to keep the deal open, like, where do you suspect we'll be 2.5, 3 years down the line and they'll be parting this thing out to somebody else? They'll be asking for a bailout in 2 or 3 years for the same company.
Yeah, but that's, again, it's just pocket. It's the same person is wearing the pants, just moving from one pocket to another pocket.
Yeah, I don't simplify it like that because there are way too many variables involved. Like, from a political standpoint, you're right. Like, there's not much difference other than the fact that I don't think that Zaslav is all that interested in tearing his cash cow apart to serve Israel. Like, yeah, he may do some favorable things. He may have some actors not acting. Of course, we'll donate all the applicable monies to the IDF and AIPAC and whoever else needs a check. But, like, I'm not going to not make money so that we could, kiss Benjamin Netanyahu's ass or anything.
It's not Netanyahu specifically. It's the
lobby. I mean, we just haven't seen that out of Warner Brothers over the last 3 or 4 years since David Zaslav has owned it. So I can't attribute him to something that I haven't seen him do actively. If there are things going on behind the scene that I don't know about, I could honestly believe it that it's happening because he is who he is. But in terms of the lesser of two evils argument that we seem to not be able to avoid these days, I think he's the lesser evil between him and the Ellisons.
Thrag says, yeah, I agree with that point, Marcus. Zaz isn't as loudly right-wing. Same bird.
Sure, but what you can't say is that things won't get exponentially worse if the Ellisons get their hands on it. You can't say that with a straight face.
No, but they
own CNN and all of the other cable channels, and they own the entire library from.
And then what will happen? There are some people who believe the world is right and left, and when they go, "Whoa, CNN is becoming right wing," I will now seek independent news. I will seek somewhere that is not right wing. That's
but we're already doing
better.
That. We talked about that. The majority of people under 40 aren't watching cable news anyways. This is not necessarily. It's not necessarily a end all be all. I'm asking who's going to be worse, who's going to push harder to push a pro white America nationalist type of agenda in their media. Well, we just haven't seen that out of Warner Brothers since Zaslav has owned it. We have absolutely seen that tenor coming out of Paramount, and we absolutely see that attitude coming in the things that they've promised to get this deal through in the first place. Firing newscasts who don't agree with the regime, right? Like, that type of shit is not happening at CNN currently. So from that standpoint alone, I don't think what happened to Jimmy Kimmel from Disney would ever happen at Warner Brothers and CNN. I don't think he would ever go that far. I don't think he gives a shit. I think a lot of them people are his friends and they're able to convince him to spend his money over there, so he does it. I don't think he has it. Most of these people are not politically inclined to begin with. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They just vacation with these people. He probably take 4 or 5 trips to Israel a year, like them his folks. So he just getting down where he gets down. Still an evil person because of it. Don't let me excuse his behavior because of that dynamic. He's still an evil person. But, like, there is a distinct difference between that individual and the individual who has a vested interest in the destruction of other people. I don't necessarily feel like that's where we're at with Zaslav as opposed to the Ellisons.
Well, they're both with the occupation. The Dems and Republicans have them idiots online, Hassan Piker and Officer Tatum and so on. I would not equate Hassan Piker for the Democrats
with Officer Tatum. That's probably the most dishonest thing I've heard you say, Jay. There's no way you could look at both of them individuals and say they're even remotely close.
Imagine if the richest POS in the world goes after WB. Batman will be hunting Muslims in Gotham.
For real. That's not far-fetched to think that we don't have DC characters out here hunting down jihadists because Paramount now owns WB.
But that overtness, the audience can see, oh, look what's happening. But the covert bullshit would be, I don't do a single show with a Muslim protagonist. I don't show main characters with that. I dehumanize. I marginalize. That's the covert shit. That's the David Zaslav direction. And I prefer the overt stuff than the covert stuff. You might actually get a spark when it's overt like that.
I don't feel like, number one, I feel like the distinction is moot. Like, the idea that you telling me that you're racist to your face instead of saying it behind my back being a benefit to me is it's a little dubious. I don't necessarily agree with that. But also just on the dealing with what we have seen from both of these individuals, what we've heard, what we know they're willing to do, what has been proven, right? I think a lot of what we're saying about Zaslav is projection and general thoughts on what a person in his position with his type of associations would do. And that doesn't make it inaccurate, but it does leave some holes for nuance that would make Zaslav a better owner than the Ellisons. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think that there's enough nuance in between those two individuals that we'd be much better off where we're currently at as opposed to where we're headed if the merger was to ever go through. But in any case, I don't think that fucking merger is going through.
Neither does Dwayne. Liberal America is not going to let the merger happen.
That's a fact. That's a fact. They are not against it. No. Listen. They are not even against it on the idea of consolidating power. I think what this is, because if Warner Brothers was about to get bought by
Netflix,
I mean, I don't know would you consider Netflix to be liberal or left leaning?
Probably.
I feel like most corporations are inherently conservative because of the lack of employee protections and whatnot. Most places are like that. In any case, let's say that there was a more left-leaning organization that wanted to purchase Warner Brothers, right? And promised to fight against the strong right-wing incursion that's swept over the country for the last 5 to 10 years that brought us Trump and J.D. Vance and all these other characters, right? Do you think that you would have states like California and New York suing to get this deal held up in court? Do you think you'd have the Screenwriters Guild, going and suing, trying to stop this deal? There's absolutely a political aspect to it. Now, we can view it on the merit and say that it still shouldn't go through, but at the same time, admit that the politicians that are involved in this play are probably not doing it based off the merits, or just doing it off of a pure rivalry standpoint of not allowing the other side to dominate them in any way, shape, or form.
I see both sides. I just don't trust people's ability to shake off propaganda. Yeah. Look at all the damage Trump politics has done in 10 years. We got a generation of openly racist white guys everywhere.
Go to Jay the Informant's. I think is his explanation on Hassan versus Officer Tatum. All the same frauds. And nigga talking about communism, but bought $1 million home when that money could have held 50 homeless people. Buddy, Jay. So to know or educate people on communism, I have to be broke. I have to be part of a state-sanctioned system where they've commandeered all of the means of production, and we have bread lines. And if I don't, then I can't advocate for communism at all in any way, shape, or form because I have something. This reminds me of like, well, no, I ain't gonna talk about that because they was actually stealing money. Never mind. But it's a very defeatist argument, bro. Like, you have to be poor to talk about being poor. You have to be uninvolved in an economic system to talk about how harmful an economic system is. I can't criticize capitalism if I participate in it.
How many million regular homes are $1 million, right? And especially if he's in a city, like, what are you talking about? He has $1 million home. Maybe because of his status, he needs to have the protections in that $1 million home can provide in that neighborhood that it is in.
I also don't think he's ever claimed to be a communist. I don't think he's ever called himself a communist. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't think you can live in a capitalistic country like we do and be a communist. It's impossible.
He has one. I'll give him two. I'll say he can have on the East Coast and the West Coast. He can have 2 homes that are $1 million before I start going, hey, shouldn't you spend the money on homeless people?
And most of the time, when you hear left-leaning progressive type figures talking about homelessness, it's not a, hey, Bill Gates, go end homelessness. It's not, hey, Jeff Bezos, go use all your exorbitant wealth to end world hunger. It's always policy-based. It's all, what can we do as a collective, as a society, to improve upon this condition, this ill? So he's not asking you to come out your pocket to do all of this. So why is it incumbent on him to uplift 50 homeless people out of his wallet alone when we can't even get you to vote on a housing initiative? We can't even get you to vote on affordable housing. We can't get you to vote on a rent freeze. Those are the type of things that he advocates for to improve on a homeless situation. But you just asking him to pull his fucking wallet out and pay some shit. Like, I don't even get what the argument is there. So since I won't go broke trying to help other broke people, I can't advocate for broke people.
Yeah, he's just like Officer Tatum.
We got to say this stuff out loud before we type it, man. Just gotta run it through.
This is unreal, isn't it, huh?
Jesus. What a segue.
So the WWE has this documentary series where they talk about the show as if it is indeed a fake scripted show, and you get to see the script writers.
And I fucking hate it.
Sometimes they say the wrong thing. So they covered Cena's retirement, they covered all the injuries, and they covered lots of things, right? CM Punk and AJ Lee, they had a dog that named Larry, not Ellison, who died. And it was pretty sad, bro. I mean, they pulled on the heartstrings earlier in the first couple episodes, and then we find out the dog died. To me, the highlight is Oba Femi's ascension and Trick Williams getting signed at the same time. They got lots of screen time here on this documentary. Bruce Pritchard is in that room, and he says, quote, we have to be patient too, as far as when they come up. They're not going to be effing ready when they come up. I said, Bruce, shut up. What? So you don't watch NXT. You do not understand.
Needs to be fired. As if they hadn't already been in a developmental show on the CW to get ready to be on the main roster.
Trained by Shawn Michaels on a daily basis.
What is the point of having the developmental show if when you call them up from the developmental show, you still say that they're not ready?
Because I remember Hunter said,
what are they doing on NXT then? Then what is the point? What's the point?
Yeah. Triple H was like, Trick is not going to learn anything more down there. And now he just got to be there and share the ring with guys who are more experienced to improve. Like, there's only so much he can get better at. And I'm like, thank you. It sounds like a guy who's done this for a living.
I've felt this way not about Trick Williams, because I feel like they're still, even though I feel like they're hurting him, but they're still trying to push him. They're pushing Oba very heavy. I worry about a guy like Javon Evans, who they seem to be turning into a mid-card jobber. a youthful talent that they've had who came in, maybe not the same hype as Obafemi, right around where Trick Williams is, though, absent the big entrance and chant, every bit the wrestler that Trick Williams is, and probably a little bit better in the ring. Is capable of doing a little bit more with, some older talents on the roster than I think Trick is ready to do at this moment. But they're not doing anything with him. He's been chasing the Intercontinental title for 3 months. And here's what really gets me, right? God bless Gable and the match he had versus what's got Ludwig Kaiser as the other El Grande Americano. Great match, probably the match of the year. But the idea that you march back in on Raw and leapfrog Javon Evans now to get a SummerSlam title match, and I get it. It's in Minneapolis. It's his hometown. They're big into Gable right now. They're trying to push him. He keeps trying to do this fucking speed clap shit every time you come out. I wish he'd stop doing it. But why? Why? Put Gable on SmackDown. Let him have a fucking feud with Trick Williams and Yachty and have him compete for the U.S. title. Why would he leapfrog Javon, making him lose yet another tournament, yet another type of swing at Penta after you showed that he was mad that he didn't beat Penta several months ago? It seems like they're slow playing him the way that they wanted to slow play Trick in Oba, and it doesn't make any sense at all. And if you really want to see a cautionary tale as to where that can lead, oh, he's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. Oh, the fans think he's ready, but we know he's not ready for the push. It's Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, who was supposed to win the Rumble, and then they decide, oh, we don't want to push him down anyone's throats.
That
was disappointing.
Fucking Breaker. Braun Breaker, at the time that I started watching wrestling again, which was going on 2 years ago now. Mm-hmm. I would say it was probably early 2025. And so when I started watching, he had the Intercontinental belt. And then maybe like a week later, he dropped it and started kind of the early stages of what will become the Vision.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Go ahead. Kind of like the early stages of what will become the Vision. And then, they slow play it. He's got this, obviously he has the betrayal of Seth Rollins. He's pushed to the forefront. Now he's the leading man of the Vision. It seems like he's about to go on a run, right? Seems like he's the biggest star they got, and they're about to push him. Couldn't have been further from the truth. He gets hurt. Then he comes back from injury, and he's a fucking tag champ, which is the funk. Then it seems like they're going to get away from that because, he ends his feud with Seth Rollins. Okay, that's cleared up. And then the Profits beat the Vision for the tag team championships. Now we got the belts back on the Profits. All right, cool. Breaker can break out and do his solo thing. We don't need this Vision shit anymore. Bronson Reed done got hurt. Logan Paul done got hurt. Everybody hurt except for him and Austin Theory, and they're the fucking tag team.
I love the way that they covered that, though. Like how everyone's getting knocked down in the graphic. Oh.
Yeah, like everybody got fucking hurt. So like this thing is dead. It's cursed. Move on. Go to Breaker's his solo push, and let's use what's left of the momentum we had built for him last year. No, we're just gonna take the belts back off the Profits and make Maxine their new manager. Okay, he's gone. He's gonna leave because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna be like, oh, in a year and a half, they're gonna come to him and be like, Braun Breaker, see, when we gave you this contract that last 6 years, we thought that you were going to be a bigger star, but that never really materialized. So now we want you to take half the fucking money that we offered you before.
That wasn't part of the streaming service show. They're not that real.
Yeah, of course it wasn't. Of course, we're going to get to why that show fucking sucks in a second. But just to cover some of the stuff that we've seen on there, man, it's like that's going to happen to Javon Evans. If they continue to play it the way they're playing it right now, he's not ready. He's got to lose the fucking Rusev, who's the ultimate jobber these days. He loses to Rusev?
Bangaranga.
So like, I don't know, man. I'm a little bit worried about Javon and he'll be a couple years down the road.
We need Ryan Ward to step up. We saw him in the creative room, and I was I don't. Okay, like I'm trying to insult him at all, but every time Obafemi was being touted, it was Triple H, and I'm like, okay, Ryan Ward, who are you advocating for? Now this is an edited show. I don't know what he's not doing, what he is doing. I can't. So I'm just looking at. I was kind of waiting for Ryan Ward to.
We thought that he was the reason why there was so many black faces on SmackDown and Raw.
He could still be though.
Yeah.
He really could still be. Maybe he was be with the fur with Trick Williams' ideas. Maybe he does more of his work on the email side of it. But he's over there working on Raw and SmackDown. But he's there at the table, not at the head of the table. He's not as close to Triple H as on the table. He doesn't sit as close as Paul Heyman does, Ed Koskey, some of the names, Bruce Pritchard, who you've known. I think Bruce Pritchard can go.
Yeah, he need to get Bruce Pritchard's seat. Bruce Pritchard don't need to have a seat no more.
But salute to Michael Hayes.
Was that him that said that about Chelsea Green?
Michael Hayes said that.
Oh. Both of them can leave.
I think Michael Hayes has been there since 95. Like, he's not going nowhere.
They made Chelsea a double champ last year, bro. And again, she got hurt. But even before she got hurt, it wasn't like y'all were pushing her. It wouldn't even. I don't know. It's just.
Great show though. Like I hate that it exists too. Great show, very fun. They don't give it everything.
I actually think I won't go as far as to say that Unreal is the reason why certain events aren't selling the way that they want them to or anticipate them to.
Yeah,
I think it's representative of the reason why, though. I think it's a shining example as to why things are going with them sales wise, because TKO has kind of turned this into, and we talked about this before, they turned it into a wine and cheese type of product. They turned it into a caviar type of product. This is now luxury, where it used to be open for all the casual, like all different type of walks of life, from the folks that could buy the courtside seats to the folks who could barely afford the nosebleeds. And I think that showed in the programming. It showed in the booking. It showed in all of these erroneous ass celebrity interactions. Saturday Night Main Event was pretty cringy, bro. It was pretty cringy. First of all, we got to address the elephant in the room. Now, I know that, wrestler height and weights are about as bankable as, your wife's true age, right? When you ask her how old she's turning on her birthday. But seeing Jalen Brunson, who, if he's actually 6'2", I will find $1 million to give him. And seeing him at times looking like he was taller than Roman Reigns, I'm like, Roman? Now, I know that they try to bill you as like 6'3", 6'4", but Jalen's shoulder looked higher than your shoulder, and they just said he was 6'2". So what's going on here? Now, it don't mean nothing to me. Daniel Bryant was a thing. Look at this, bro. Look at this, bro. Does that look like 6'4" and 6'2" to you?
Yeah, that looks like there's some fibbing going on in the WWE. Andre the Giant wasn't allowed to photograph with NBA players because it would reveal the truth.
Yeah, he wasn't that tall. Now, that's what makes me even more impressed by guys like Big Show or Mark Henry, who are actually like, he's actually 400-something pounds. Big Show was actually 470, 7 foot tall out there wrestling on a regular basis. But like, I don't feel like it's necessary at this point. You're a megastar. You're huge. You don't. Did we need to lie about the measurables? I don't feel like it. Would it really change all that much for if he was like 6'1", 250 pounds, Roman Reigns, instead of 6'4" or 6? Like, come on, man. This is, you don't gotta do that. You don't gotta do that.
Shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, the main character of the NBA, by the way. But back to Unreal. They had a great segment where you could hear John Cena versus AJ Styles, and they're like, let's do this move. And the crowd is saying, do the RKO. And everyone's chanting 619. And he's like, I don't know. Hey, make sure you clothesline me because I don't know how to do a 619. Like, that was so interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever wanted that part of the curtain peeled back to me, bro. Because now when I watch wrestling, I find myself looking at their mouths, and I don't want that. Like I don't want it.
Oh,
I don't want to ruin that part of it for me.
what
Like
about when they?
obviously, I know what it is, and yeah, moments like this is cool. You know, when they're watching her back in Gorilla give her pregnancy announcement, that's cool. I don't want to see you choreographing a match. I already have to accept the situation as what it is, and I have to enter this reality where
Yeah.
I'm going to come along for the ride, and I'm going to believe you.
You want to hear
I'm
some
going
shit
to,
too, though?
I'm
Like,
gonna give it to
what-
you. You can't take me out of this. You can't give me this part of it and then expect me to ingratiate myself the same way.
when you have match producers choreographing a match, and it's the same 6 guys on the road. It's TJ Wilson that you just saw here in the middle. It's the same 6 guys. I don't want to name them. It makes you realize that's why some of these matches are so routine and they paint by the number. Like they just there's no originality. Then you think of
Nope.
somewhere else like AEW and you get more variety. So that's what they revealed to me because it's the same guys. Abyss, it's the same guys doing these matches who
Yeah.
are you got to run everything by. And so yeah, that's why the suspense is the same way. That's why no one's trying submissions or I don't know, just so many ways to wrestle a match, and it feels like they're all paint by numbers.
You know what I think is missing, bro, from the weeklies, because they can still put a halfway decent show together when it's not a Saturday night main event on a PLE. I think when wrestling was at its heyday, I think there was a reason to have a brand split. They constantly gave you narrative reasons for there to be a SmackDown and Raw. There, even though that's the way the business has always existed over there at WWE, they are not writing reasons for there to be 2 separate narrative tracks for 2 different shows. It literally just creates more opportunities for us to point out where you guys are going wrong. They need to either A, go back to what they were doing in the early 2000s and give us a reason to care, because, you know, even Raw to a certain degree, you know, that's probably the only weekly show that most people are watching anyways, but it ain't been great. It hasn't been exceedingly good. Give us a reason to pay attention to both shows. Have a draft again. Have a cross-show rivalry. Hey, here's an idea. How about we have a cross-brand rivalry leading into Survival Series, which is the entire point of Survival Series in the first place? Huh. Anybody remember the Invasion and how key that was to WWE at a certain point in time? Like, that shit matters, and it makes sense for you to have multiple shows.
I think there will be a Survivor Series with a bloodline that they're building towards.
That could work. I don't know how the Bloodline and the Judgment Day haven't run up against each other at this point because
They're both heels.
Right, but they are also the only factions in WWE that matter right now.
Oh, but there's also like more female members on Bloodline. It's JD, Dominic, and they're the only 2 males right now.
You're right. Yeah. It's unbalanced. I thought you were trying to call JD and Dominic the female members of the of the Judgment Day.
No, I don't use females as a derogatory term over here. Okay.
Oh, okay. How
That's
enlightened
why
of you.
Pavi from Avatar is going to be great. See, go
Okay.
girls. And that's why Shuri should have replaced T'Challa lickety split in the first movie.
You can get the fuck on with that.
You see that recast T'Challa noise? Because you got Twitter too. And I saw Damson Idris was asked by Kevin Feige about sorry, are we done with wrestling right now? Before we go to
Sure, yeah, that's good enough.
So DC, Marvel, Lanterns, where we I'll go to Lanterns because I already had
finish what you were just talking about. Nah, do the Black Panther stuff you was just talking about. Fuck Lanterns for now.
Okay, Panther. So Kevin Feige gets talked about Damson Idris. Kevin Feige got a lot of questions recently as he's doing press for the Spider-Man movie, and he's just putting himself in front of outlets. Okay. As you can see, the question from Cosmic Marvel got the tweet here. When asked if he will reveal that Damson is the new Black Panther in the MCU, not today. Laughs. You know how much you want to read into that answer? Not today.
as anything is, it's rehearsed from Kevin. So if he said it like that, he planned to say it like that. I don't think that was like an off the cuff. I don't think they caught him off guard. I don't know what to read into it though. Does that mean he has the job? Does that mean he's going to be T'Challa? Does that mean he's going to be the kid? I don't know exactly what to read into that. It was very brief. It does seem to hint at the fact that he has the job, but that's where we've kind of been at this whole time anyways, is that if it was going to be anybody, it seems like it's going to be Damson Idris at this moment. So I don't think he particularly revealed anything, but he teased just enough to lead you to believe that probably our suspicions are correct, that it's going to be Damson in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
This was from Weibo. This has been translated, but hey, that's the source of this news that I just read over here. That he answers not today, and he laughs about Damson Idris. It's Damson Idris, right? But is he playing T'Challa? Because the question was whether he'll be Black Panther, not whether he'll be playing T'Challa, and that is the key thing. And it is important to use the word T'Challa when we talk about him and call Toussaint what he is, and it's Toussaint. And if you can get that out there, everybody, great.
Not one Sant, two Sants.
Leave a comment on people's videos when they do these videos and they say T'Challa Jr. No. We will train. We had 5 years to do this. We will train the masses into calling that bastard Toussaint. And
calling that bastard Toussaint. I think you got a super chat there, brother.
We got a super chat for $10. Oh, they got me feeling emotions. Oh, you got me feeling emotions hotter than the heavens above. I feel cool. I feel nice. I never felt so satisfied. I'm in love, so alive, intoxicated.
Dre Mac, we appreciate the $9.99. Hey, bro, say it with me. Taste the biscuits. Taste the goodness of the biscuits. With that honey sauce.
Yo, can I get a Tyrone Magnus dancing and put that super chat? Send me the link to that video.
Taste the biscuits. Taste the goodness of the biscuits.
Dre Mac is a YouTuber, the Dre Mac Show, that you should be checking out. Taste the Biscuits is fire. Like, I find myself singing that sometimes.
They all asked for a duo. They came, they showed up, they got what they was looking for. Give the people what they want, Perp. Give the people what they want.
Yeah, give the people what they want. Recast T'Challa and refer to Toussaint as Toussaint. So
I was talking about our singing, but yeah, that too. Yeah.
I'm never sending another super chat if Chill's gonna sing. It's just the wrong. See, I should choose a lesser artist who doesn't have the vocals. If I sang a Michael song, it would be okay.
Man in the Mirror, go right now.
A simple nickel. No, that's not the words. How does it go? A summer's disregard.
I was gonna help you. Keep going. Broken bottle top.
They find a new one and I know when you see, because they got no place to be.
Yes, I'm starting with me.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, think along yourself, then make the change.
Woo!
Na, 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 na. I hit the notes there. Can't be mad at me. See, I just needed a male artist. That's all I needed. Darius is like, okay, totally not. You're the channel.
You're not allowed to sing Michael. Okay.
Why? Because he didn't make $1 billion. I thought he wouldn't make $1 billion. That's why.
You doubted him. You doubted him, and now you want to sing his. Oh hell no! You're not going to sing his songs. You're
Darius,
not.
I just said the international audience won't show up the way Bohemian did, so I think it won't make $1 billion.
I said you will not sing his songs.
God.
My son reminded me that was tonight. They out there watching it in the front room now. Game versus YG. I heard Tooted and Booted. It was one of the first songs he played, so it looked like he was emptying up the clip pretty early. Watch the copyright strike completely out of sync rendition. That's because it sounded so accurate. They thought we was playing audio.
We'll probably get struck for the WWE Unreal. I think I may have played too much, but you never know.
I don't think you played any. I think you just showed it. We were talking over it the entire time.
Yeah, but that's how.
Where has fair use gone? Is fair use not a thing anymore on the internet? God damn.
Not with them. And I don't know Paramount's thing. I played the whole Paramount trailer of Netflix's of their Avatar. So yeah, we might be cooked. Netflix's Avatar, we'll get you. We're just struck. Mariah Carey might try. Shit.
I can't wait till I got a team of lawyers and I can just tell y'all to sue me.
So aside from the Damson Idris stuff, which last I checked, he was like showing Instagram pictures of him dressed as Prince Inan from Children of Blood and Bone, coming in IMAX in January. I'm still saying support that movie, by the way. I don't care that the author doesn't see eye to eye with them. I have not told any, and neither have you, Marcus, have said, we gotta be not supporting this one. I still say you give it your money.
No, I won't tell anybody not to support it. If you're asking me what my level of excitement is, it has dropped significantly, but I'm not telling you not to go see the movie.
Let's go to James Gunn. James, what you got? What you posted this 14 hours ago?
Hello, Green Lantern fans. You do not want to miss this. The official world premiere of the trailer for Lanterns is tomorrow.
Got like 10 seconds of footage there.
Bro.
What? What? It's light skinned Green Lantern. It's a tornado. That's good. That's special effects.
Bro. SDCC is Saturday.
Yeah, and you know, Marcus, that Marvel is going to have so much attention. So why don't you do your stuff on Friday?
Bro. Saturday. So you're going to release it on the Friday going into Comic-Con.
And get publicity.
So if your fear is getting drowned out by the Marvel avalanche of marketing that's coming, which I don't believe is coming. We've seen the trailer, so we could talk about that after. We're not going to talk about Doomsday right now. We're talking about DC.
Okay.
If your idea is we don't want to get washed out, your idea is to put the trailer out while everybody's in the halls listening to other studios present their stuff live. You think your stuff is going to be more pronounced than the stuff that people are getting live footage on in the halls at the convention because you announced it on Twitter the day before? That's the calculus?
You have a problem with this?
Go to the damn convention and show the fucking trailer. Just go. Go to the convention, show the trailer, have Aaron Pierre there, have Kyle Chandler there, have Nathan Fillion there, have all the lanterns there in suits, show the trailer, kick ass, get people excited. Release a trailer online on Friday. Marvel already did that. He did last week. We don't want to get washed out by Marvel. They released the Doomsday trailer earlier this week. So you're going to sandwich yourself in between the Doomsday trailer and whatever they present at the convention in hope that in that little pocket that you got before people start looking at the fucking shit that's leaked out of the convention that you get your just due. What are you doing, bro? Just go. Send somebody to the fucking convention and have them show the trailer there. How much would this have cost you? How much would this have cost you to release it at the convention? You saved yourself nothing and you ceded the ground to your competitor. Absolutely ceded the ground to him. Hate it. Hate it. Don't hate the trailer that is sure to come out tomorrow. But I hate the idea that like I'm always going to announce what we're doing on the internet. I fucking hate that shit. I hate it. Especially when you're turning down opportunities to go to traditional places and present to your fans. Now, I will say there's this budding attitude that, oh, well, San Diego Comic-Cons aren't what they used to be, and you know, the reveals haven't been all that great, you know, for the last couple of years. I would chalk that up more so to an ebb and a flowing of some of the bigger news. Like over the last 20 years or so of conventions, we've got some of the biggest movie reveals of all time. And so if the highest of highs are like Chadwick Boseman coming out as Black Panther, Dr. Doom coming out as Robert Downey Jr., you know, shit like that. The bar is very high. The bar is very high. I think eventually we'll start hitting those heights again for certain reveals at studios down the line. Hell, Marvel could do it Saturday with the X-Men. If they decide to show y'all something, some characters that they've already casted for the X-Men, they're going to break the fucking internet. So this idea that like, oh, just chalk up Comic-Con, it don't matter no more. We just gonna release the shit online. That's exactly why you are where you are right now. This flippant attitude to how you market your products is probably why you are where you are right now. And it also makes me feel like you don't understand where you at. You don't understand the dire straits you're in.
Well, there is really a correct way to use Comic-Con weekend, huh? Okay.
I think so. Yeah. Yes. If you are a comic book franchise, what do you mean? This is like this is the nerd pilgrimage that everyone looks for every year, regardless of what studio you're rooting for behind, if DC guy, Marvel guy, or somewhere in between. Everybody pays attention to this Comic-Con. I don't know why we wasted the opportunity, especially if it's a dope ass trailer. And it feels like it's going to be a dope ass trailer. So why not? Why not?
Work on it, James Gunn. Work on your announcements, your presentation, all that stuff. Improve.
Let's see what chat's talking about. Don't see Marcus's point at all. All the costs to get to the panel is there. How for showing a trailer? The cost in showing a trailer?
Of bringing the talents, plane tickets, hotel.
Now that you're a major motion picture studio. That's the cost of doing a business. Flying your talent to a destination. That's what we're talking about. That's all the cost we're talking about.
They're probably already in California.
If you don't want to spend that, then we're kind of already shot in the foot. The shit is expensive. It gets expensive. They have multi-$100 million budgets for these projects. Yes, showing up to cons and exciting your fan base is part of it. I don't know. Did Marvel get
exciting your fan base? How many people are actually going to fit in Hall H? 1,000, 2,000?
It's not even about just the people who are there. It's about those people who are then going to link it online and present it as, oh my God, like they're setting the standard. If the first time we see an X-Men casting, right, is some Hollywood Reporter or Variety article with their face from some other project in the byline that they've been cast in such and such X-Men project, versus, ladies and gentlemen, we've drafted our new Storm. And then there, in front of the entire crowd, they reveal who the new character of Storm is. They go crazy. They scream. That little bit of nuance in between just dropping it on the internet and seeing human reaction to it live in real time makes a difference.
So we want human reactions. Do we need Comic-Con Hall H for that? Well, he's doing it on Comic-Con weekend. So yeah, he should. Where else do you? Where else do you get those? Create your own event. How about that? How about DC?
Absolutely.
It finds a place not in San Diego, but in Los Angeles itself, where the actors will be. Rent out a comic book shop, make it an arena. I don't know. There's lots of places in Los Angeles that you can pay a little money for, put a down payment, and have a venue for a few hours, and just make it so that people react to your first time seeing Lobos, first time seeing Jason Momoa in the suit. We could have had that last year, especially when you got 2 movies a year for the next 10 years coming out of DC. You got a TV show. Like, there's always going to be something to talk about. So having an annual the first week of January, guess what? DC does their thing. They create the event.
Yeah. With them not having another like a D23, it makes it even more like dire that they use this opportunity. When else are you going to do it? Like you said, you don't have another event. You don't have a D23. You don't have another like specialized con that's just for your content. So it's either go viral on the internet or bust.
I wasn't even expecting him to drop anything from the way he did it last year. Well, he did. And then Kevin Feige didn't do anything last year either, which means expectations are up.
People in a room, millions online. Again, it's not just about the crowd and who's watching it there. It's about the reaction that then precipitates from that crowd's reaction. Like, yeah, we all pretend that like we're these isolated individuals and we just all form our opinions based off of things that we like personally, and that's 100% of the calculus, and that's ridiculous. No one would ever sell anything if that's how things work. Your idea of what is quote unquote popular comes from the reaction of people around you. It comes from your parasocial relationships that you have. And so, yeah, releasing a video online, if it gets a trailer online, if it gets tremendous pub and everybody from here to Kalamazoo watches it and repurposes it, sure, you can get a lot of, if it's like Avengers Endgame level type of repurposing of a trailer, sure, you don't need to do anything else. Since we know it's not going to be Avengers Endgame level, how about we do something to boost the excitement? Because we're selling a product. We're not viewing this simply from a consumer standpoint. We're viewing it from a business standpoint. How do we assist in propagating this marketing material? How do we help it catch fire? Well, going to the biggest comic book event of all year that you have all year and revealing it there helps propel the marketing. It's not just, oh, well, we showed it to a room of 500 people, so if 500 versus millions at home, that's simple math. We're not playing simple math games. We want to show it to that crowd because that crowd is going to go out and they're going to talk about it on their phones instantly. They're going to go out and they're going to promote it because they were so excited in the room of 500 people that y'all just tried to dismiss because there are millions of people on the internet. Those millions of people on the internet are led by the 500 people in the room. That's what we're not getting. We are herded like sheep towards products. That is why you buy. So don't tell me that these trade show like events don't mean anything, because the studios would gladly stop doing them altogether if it wasn't netting them anything.
Kevin Feige had a couple more interview answers here. Marvel has a 7-year plan from Avengers 5 to 6 and beyond, with more characters and a vast storyline. How do you manage the importance of stories to characters? For example, from the 7-year plan in the MCU's film layout, we sense that groups like the X-Men and the FF will play very important roles. Could you talk about Avengers 5 and the MCU's plan from this perspective? My friend told me, don't let Feige give you his usual vague answers to these questions. And he said, where'd it go? Where did it just go? He says, Avengers 5 and 6 were largely inspired by the storylines of Marvel Comics' Time Runs Out and Secret Wars. So it's customary. The comics provide significant guidance for the films we're making. Red flag. What you mean they provide significant guidance? They are the stories. They're more than just guidance.
The comics are literally the story.
Actually, we want to do 2 things. First, to bring some storylines to a close that started long before Iron Man, including the original X-Men characters. Second, to simultaneously set the stage for the future. Avengers Endgame was truly an end, and since then, we've tried and experimented with many new things, but Avengers Endgame is a beginning. It will establish a streamlined, simplified, single universe that we can keep up with. Some things will be familiar, but many, many things will be entirely new.
Real quick
Okay.
before I dig into Kevin Feige's word salad over here. The point of contention was releasing the trailer at the con as opposed to on the internet the day of the con. That was the contention. I didn't know that they had a contingency there. I didn't know that Aaron Pierre was there. I hope he dons the suit. Him showing up in street clothes and talking about a trailer that gets released on Twitter is not necessarily the game plan that I was suggesting. But yeah, the point of contention was, why release this on the internet the day of the con? Why not just go to the con? That was the point. Now, Kevin Feige and the
It's
whole
gonna be a simplified universe.
the what Doomsday and Secret Wars being a new beginning or end. What I'm sorry.
First, the end game was the
Piggyback.
end, but it's also now a beginning.
Now it's a beginning. Okay, yeah, because we're ignoring all the other projects that came after Endgame, so that we can piggyback the story right at the end of Endgame.
Let's watch the movie first before we discover why it's a beginning. Maybe it's got to do with the last scene with Steve Rogers.
I'm sure it has to do with that. That's absolutely what it's about. But it is also about being able to do around the last 5 years of meh we've gotten. Because I mean, what else has built up leading up until this point from those movies? Nothing else in those movies directly connects to this.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is the movie.
That came out in no, that was like 2022. Okay, I'll give you that one. But Doctor Strange is not in this movie. Doctor Strange is not in this film, so that's moot. He ain't got nothing to do with this.
Well, multiple universes explaining incursions. The Fantastic Four movies probably have something to do with this. The Loki TV show, I imagine, but that's not a movie. Spider-Man is supposed to have Tobey's Spider-Man in this, so maybe is it required viewing though? I think you can already go off of the old Spider-Man movies.
Let me rephrase again. Not have to do with it in terms of will they show up in the movie. I mean, was there something specifically from their projects that you saw that led to this overarching narrative of Doomsday? That's what I mean.
Nah, because Doom wasn't even in Fantastic Four. Maybe you could say the last scene in Captain Marvel 2.
Well, he was in the after credit scene where he was talking to Franklin.
Okay,
they didn't show his face, but they showed his
yeah.
likeness. In any case, my point is that it's strategic in two ways. One, to try and draw back out the nostalgia of Endgame, and two, so that the lack thereof of narrative threads to all these characters eventually we will bring in Doomsday. We will start this point off with where the most narrative threads we have to this story is, which is Endgame, because none of them were established in any of the other movies. They don't have to start in the Fantastic Four's universe because they barely established that this person is even connected to them. If you didn't stay for the scene after the credits, then you wouldn't even fucking know. Same thing goes for Thunderbolts. Same thing goes for Brave New World. Same thing goes for I already said Thunderbolts. Same thing goes for Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, all of those movies were leading somewhere else. It still grinds my gears that they try to pretend that this was the plan all along, because nothing in any of these movies says that Doom was coming. Not a fucking thing. Not a single thing. So, yeah, I think that's what they're doing with Doomsday. Then the Secret Wars of it all. How far do you think he gets from center? Like, I don't think, obviously the days of thinking this is going to be a full reboot are gone. Like, I don't even think that's going to be possible. But does he course correct all the characters? So we just getting a new Cap, we getting a new Tony. At that point, I don't know, man. I don't know, because it's going to get complicated. How can you have a Thor 5 after that if Chris Hemsworth keeps being Thor, but you've recasted Steve and Tony? Like, we just gonna rock with Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, so
Kevin,
go ahead.
I'm gonna change the topic.
Damn, we're done talking about Marvel already?
No, just another quote.
Oh, go ahead.
And then to speak about Sadie one more time, because she can't, is it's a high bar. The three actors in front of me set a very high bar, and we try to always do that at Marvel, is have great casts. And when you bring somebody in, it has to be a very high bar. And I don't know if we've talked about this before, or if you guys remember, but we were discussing what character to bring in, what types of characters and villain agendas, and we were thinking, we had sort of this idea for a story.
Hey, villain agendas, right? Like, will the X-Men be hated for their race?
Line, and we were thinking about various characters of who it could be, and the reason it's the character that people will see very, very soon is because of Sadie, is because our co-producer Emily Fong said, well, Sadie Sink could play this character, and Destin had worked with her, and within that moment we went, oh yes, it should be her and it should be this character, which is why there was no audition process or anything. There were some phone calls. And some,
Must be nice. Must be nice.
Cut to Tom's audition tape again. Yeah.
I think I did 7.
I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom. I'm with Tom. Must be nice, because what the fuck even is this? What do you... Again, I know we don't live in a world driven by meritocracy, right? This is a world that's driven by relationships and heritage. So it's not surprising to me at all that, you know, somebody who represents Sadie Sink was close to a Marvel production and he was just a phone call away. And so her name got mentioned and it was just, you know, a match made in heaven. Sure. But it's how flippantly you discuss it, as if like there aren't hundreds of actors, thousands of actors, millions of actors around the world listening to this. Like, damn, I knew I didn't have a chance. It sounds like Chelsea Green, bro. Sounds like Chelsea Green. I knew that ceiling existed. It hits differently to hear somebody who's in charge of your career say it out loud, though. So just imagine you've been trying to get into Marvel your whole life. You care about these characters. You care about the stories. You would actually take it to heart to be in this position. And to hear him just, you know, as a turn of phrase, yeah, you know, she didn't even have to audition. We called. We thought she'd work out. And she got a multi-million-dollar job.
Her hair's red.
And if she's Jean Grey, hope it works out. If it works out, then it sounds like something that was, you know, pretty smart or a cool story to tell at dinner parties. If for some reason it doesn't, you look like a moron. Like, to have that quote on record. Yeah, she didn't even have to audition. I hope it works out for everybody involved, for us as an audience, for Sadie Sink as an actor, for Kevin Feige as an executive. I hope it works out for everybody, because that sounds utterly ridiculous. It sounds ridiculous that a role like Jean Grey could be just tossed to a buddy or somebody that you knew because of some other relations, not because she's the most talented actor, not because she's the best person to play Jean Grey, but just because, you know, oh, I think Sadie could play her. She got
Star
mentioned
power.
in the article. Yeah.
Star power.
Star
Like
power.
Tom Hanks doesn't have to audition.
But Sadie Sink is not the most star power heavy redhead that could have played Sadie Sink. Shit, if you was going for star power, you would have just kept Sophie Turner.
No,
If star power is what mattered the most, you probably would have just kept Sophie Turner.
I think it was very necessary to not use Sophie Turner. It was very necessary to
the
make
Fox X-Men. My point was that there are more popular redheads.
Yeah, how old Sophie though? 30?
If she's in her early 30s. Yeah, early 30s. How old is the Jonas
That would be another
brother?
reason why you're starting with somebody younger. Okay.
Hey, listen, man, you can give me a million reasons. We heard the reason. We don't have to guess about what the reason was. Somebody in the meeting mentioned her. He was already in she was already in his, meaning Kevin's, social purview because of some other relationship he had. So she got the job. He told us what we already knew about corporate America, but he just said it out loud. And so it just hits a little bit differently.
Let's go to a super chat.
All I do is is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And everything.
Two fly cam, $2. Did y'all see Odyssey? It was pretty impressive. Oh,
yet.
did I see Odyssey? No, not yet. I plan
Not
to.
yet, no.
I plan to one day watch it.
We
Maybe
took the
might pay a
kids
movie.
out to the theater last week. We saw Moana and Toy Story 5.
Like the same day?
Yeah, we do the drive-in. We do the drive-in, so you see 2 features.
You get 2.
Yep. Toy Story 5 was awesome.
You ever thought about filming content with your kids and being like, "Hey, this is gonna go on YouTube"?
So I've let my son give reviews off camera for movies that we've gone to see together. He was involved in the Mario Galaxy out of theater that we did earlier this year. He wants to record. He has ideas for a channel. He wants to be involved. I'm going to wait a good long while before I even start entertaining that. It'll be 13, 14 years old before we start talking about being on the internet. Probably even older than that, honestly. That's where he thinks is going to land right now. I would want to keep him protected from all of this as long as possible. Yeah, we're not even close to having a phone right now. So
I'll let you know, Cam, when I do see the Odyssey movie. It could very well happen. Thank you. More from Feige. Did you see this one?
About Blade. How much time in therapy have you spent talking about Blade? This poor product. We just need to get this done, Kevin. How are you doing?
Therapy. Should we get into a therapy session?
Yeah, lie down. I mean, we all want it. Mahershala wants it. How are you feeling at this moment?
I'm feeling very excited that we got Wesley back for a time in Deadpool and Wolverine, and like a gigantic loser and failure that we didn't get off the ground with Mahershala.
Is there a world where Secret Wars is 2 films?
Not this world.
No. Okay. How Doomsday sticking to its release date?
Yes,
definitely. Okay.
Yo, he's going
off memory. What does the MCU look like in a nutshell coming out of Secret Wars? Is it do you consider this a reboot?
No, but I look to the comics as I always do in terms of our storytelling and after both the Secret Wars, but particularly the Hickman Secret Wars from 10 years ago, there's a nice roadmap to where we can go.
And last thing for you, how many X-Men have you cast that I just don't know about? Are people signed on right now for X-Men actors?
Not necessarily.
That does not mean no.
What the hell does not necessarily mean?
It just means I can't say the word no to that because Sadie Sink is literally an X-Men in this movie, so I can't. He's not looking at his cue cards down here when Josh Horowitz is asking these questions. These are like the last minute of this 8 minutes he's allowed to have with both Amy Pascal and Kevin Feige, and just going off of memory and just asking him questions. So salute to that. The beginning with Blade, Kevin called himself a failure. He doesn't say I'm failing. He says failure. It's in the past tense. It's over. It's been failed. The Blade movie won't happen. Right? No? Do you have a different take?
I mean, the way he talked about it, it sounded pretty final. The guy was kind of setting it up for him to talk about it still coming to fruition. And he kind of like do-si-doed right out of that and said, yeah, I feel like a loser for it not happening. And then that's the end of it. Like there was no further elaboration on when or how he plans to move forward. It was just like, yeah, man, I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't get that done. And it was like, okay, well, are you? It's like your teacher asked you if you did your homework. It's like, nah, I didn't do it. It's like, you gonna do it? You gonna do the work? I don't know, man. It at this point, obviously, I think Mahershala has moved on to other things, and it is a continued disrespect for sure. It's a continued disrespect. And not just because it didn't work out with Mahershala, but we've seen the lengths that they go for other actors, for other projects. And it's just like, what was it particularly? If it wasn't what we're all thinking that it was, what was it particularly that made this project okay to just die in the ether? Like I heard him explain a little bit more. Like it was during their time of switching over from quantity to quality, which was wasn't actually a switch anyways. They just stopped making as much projects. And it's not like the quality spiked. Not in their studio. So we were really focused on making a good Blade, and we didn't want to just throw a coat on him and have him kill vampires, even though that's the basis of the entire franchise. We just couldn't get there. We couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, man, you put the Marvels in the theaters, bro. Put the Marvels in the theaters. You put out Quantumania. Like, you sat up there and you edited that movie. You watched it all the way through post-production and you put it out. You put out Captain America Brave New World. You released it to the world. Showed it to everybody. You cut that project all to hell and still released it. You telling me you can't get one version of Blade to finish? Not one? Don't tell me about the quality's too high now. We just couldn't let anything creep through. And you giving me Brave New Day, Thunderbolts, and Fantastic Four all in the same year. Is that the quality over quantity that we were talking about? Like it's personal, man. That one is personal. The Blade one is personal because it's the only one of those projects that couldn't just suck on its own merit. It couldn't even survive in the womb. Didn't even survive to see if we were going to Sucksville with it. At least we got to see those other projects and judge them accordingly. We are never even going to get to see this movie to see what Mahershala could have been as Blade. It's a robbery.
No, we got Wesley. How about that?
It's a robbery. We already had Wesley. We were never going to lose Wesley.
Yeah. I think that's kind of telling. He's like, in his answer, where the question was about Mahershala in the Blade film, he wants to talk about what he was able to do with Wesley Snipes. Is that like
what the fuck Wesley Snipes got to do with all this?
I think it's, if you look at it from a race perspective, pretend you're Kevin Feige. Well, I really want to come off as a guy who's inclusive, so I'm going to mention that Wesley Snipes was there. So I casted. So you know what I mean. I'm sure I'm an ally over here.
Oh yeah, sure. With allies like that, what do you need enemies for?
Mahershala turned down Commissioner Gordon for Blade and probably a bunch of other roles. He was supposed to be Gordon. Isn't that interesting? And then went to
Jeffrey Wright.
It's just funny that they went from black actor to black actor. It's almost like there's this pie chart that they've got to fulfill for their movies. It's crazy. I think it's almost like when Larry David, what's the name of, who's the dude who's not, it's not Bo DeMeo anymore. It's Larry Houston. It's like, oh, that gets to be our writer now for X-Men 97. I think he fell out with Mahershala, and Feige is like, so what? Don't do that, Antoine. Don't go, Mahershala fell out. Oh, Kevin Feige and them had a personal problem. Nah, bro, don't even do that. Like, they fell out. I think this was just all business. Like, I don't want to act like they fought each other. They are falling out. It depends what you mean by fallout. And Feige is like, so what? The character that made MCU possible, but we get the Fantastic Four trash. Virgil Van Dyke with a beard on the left. I can't unsee it. Oh, appreciate you. Uncle Ben says
Virgil Van Dyke, like Dick Van Dyke. Virgil
Kevin
Van Dyke
had to mention Wesley so as not to make his answer entirely negative. He was saving himself. I could see that too. They did fall out. How about this? What if Mahershala is part of the issue? I don't want to do that. That Mahershala was part of the issue. He turned down roles. He was
for
and
him
he
to be the. Go ahead.
He shot down a movie idea where Blade, according to rumors, was supposed to be like fourth on the casting. And I remember seeing that comic book of Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, around the same time. It felt like they weren't gung ho on Blade in the Blade movie. It was about other people. So I'm not mad at him, but what if he was part of the issue as far as being particular on the script or other things? If that's being particular, being number one on the casting, then like what are we talking about?
That's kind of where I'm at with it. Like, if you're telling me he was the problem for being too particular on the project, that doesn't mean the project doesn't get made. It means you either concede or you move on to someone else. If he's causing that big of a problem that the production can't get off the ground, then you find somebody else. or you concede and you give in and you just make the project that he wants to make. Either way, not making the movie at all is a failure on the studio.
Huge. You get that Tremaine Tillman. What's his name?
Tremel
That
Tillman.
yeah, Stephen James. Everyone who's being rumored to be cast as Black Panther, you just get one of those actors and you say, "Want to be Blade?" Ilan Noel. I love Nemesis. You could kill it as Blade.
Could absolutely be Blade, like 1000% be Blade. It just, I can't keep offering up or having these ideas for, fantastic Black actors that I want to see in Marvel, because I don't want to see them in Marvel anymore. I don't want to see them go there and have a lackluster project or be put on into a character who's traditionally white and turn it into some comedy drama series, or give him one iteration in a movie and then kill and retire his character. I can't survive that shit. I can't do it. Hell, they race swapped a Black character and She-Hulk. Race swapped him. An intelligent character, a character whose superpower is intelligence, made him white.
Yeah, how else is he supposed to be intelligent, Marcus?
So, as much as I would want to see some of these actors playing in these roles, not under the current regime. No, absolutely not. Because your track record is erasure or development hell.
That's right. Fuck Wonder Man, by the way. So Kevin Feige has some quotes. We expect some more quotes coming this week. Spider-Man's coming up. Things are looking good for Marvel as far as like projects I'm actually interested in. Still don't know about Vision Quest. Still don't know about whatever the other shows that they've got going on. But I'm kind of ready to be pro Marvel right now. Kevin Feige, just sail through this weekend. I think I think people will look at Marvel in a different light after Spider-Man, and I hope that the movie is good and it have to do with other things in the universe.
What did you think about the trailer?
Avengers Endgame or Avengers Doomsday? It was all right.
Yeah.
It was an all right thing. A lot of scenes I already saw, but seeing Shang-Chi fighting with Gambit, seeing everything we saw, I'll pull it up now. But I thought it was cool.
Don't play it because I don't feel like killing the stream. But
it's Disney. They don't strike us.
Disney doesn't strike us?
Nah. Dre was saying the same thing on his video where he was like, I gotta slow it down. But Disney doesn't strike you for trailer reactions.
Okay. Do your thing, I guess. Did you have any problem with how Mystique looked?
I kind of wasn't paying attention.
That was the big discourse online, is Mystique's wig and her outfit and stuff.
Oh, the budget for a Marvel movie is not so high. Well, yeah, Doom was in it. Doom barely talks. When is Mystique's part?
I don't particularly remember when the X-Men show up. I don't know. Yeah. Right there we go.
So yeah, a fake blue person's got funny hair. Yeah.
Prosthetics look a little weird. The suit is accurate to the X-Men Evolution Mystique, though. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's not even close to my biggest takeaway from this. I saw a lot of chatter about who's being edited out of the shot. Here is Iron Man and Cap right in the middle. Like, who's supposed to be standing there?
I don't think this is the movie for that, y'all. I don't think Iron Man's going to show back up in Doomsday. They're going to lose. They're going to get fucking worked.
Okay, Robert Downey Jr. is not part of this trailer at all because he's back as Iron Man. He's not playing Dr. Doom with the face mask. He's playing Iron Man.
Okay, cut it out. Okay, if that happens, I will give you all of the credit in the world for calling it from outside of the gym. You called it from the fucking parking deck. Okay, but until then, I don't want to hear it. I don't think that Iron Man is going to be in this. I don't think there are people cut out. I think this is your team. Maybe Storm and Jean Grey are missing from the X-Men side. That's it. And potentially Monica. That's it. Everybody else, this is it. This your squad right here. And they're going to get fucking wrecked. They're going to get destroyed.
They got a good leader in Thor. Someone I actually care about.
Man. First of all, here's what we do have to discuss. is the power scaling that we've already seen in this trailer. So as we go along, at some point you're going to see Thor try to bring Stormbreaker down on Doom, and he fucking catches it. Now we've seen Thanos kill Doctor Doom, or Doctor Doom kill Thanos in the comics. We understand his powers and all that other stuff, but like there's usually some sort of level up before he gets to a point where he can do some shit like this. Like it's not just like baseline Doom that can stop a what do you call it, a Power Stone powered weapon. I'm missing the verbiage on that, but y'all know, y'all see where I'm getting at. Like right now, like that's OD. Like that's a lot. Thanos took that shit to the chest and was barely able to fucking talk. This motherfucker caught it with his hand. They trying to set him on a whole nother plane.
And he looks at him all disappointed. Thor. But yeah, look, he gets another hammer in this. So that's a different part of the movie where he's got Mjolnir, he's got Stormbreaker. And
Well, he got that back at the end of the movie. Or no, he didn't. Steve took it. So how the fuck he get it back? Hand it back to Steve.
Is this the one with the shatters in it? No, it's not shattered. It looks like it's
It is. No, it is. Look closely. It's got the little breaks and shit in it.
Yeah?
I noticed that the first time seeing it.
Okay.
When Thor's holding it down before he reaches out to give it to Steve, you might be able to see it. Right there. You see it? You see the breaks? Yep.
Well, they're gonna say it's
How the
healing.
fuck did he get that back?
They're gonna say Mjolnir is healing and Mjolnir is alive, and that's why you got to buy the new
He
toy where it's
took
not
that
a shattered.
shit to another time. Took it to another timeline. How the fuck did he get that shit back? Would have made more sense for Steve to show up with it.
What?
Yeah, I
How
guess
did he get the
we'll
shattered one back? In Thor: Love and Thunder, Jane Foster goes to where Hela broke it. And then she reassembles it.
That's
yeah.
another
Hela
movie that
breaks
I watched
Mjolnir during Ragnarok. They're like on a cliff.
Ragnarok. Yep, I remember that.
And when you go to that cliff, and they like made Mjolnir reassembled again.
So what Mjolnir did he give to Steve in Endgame? What was that?
The one
Where'd
from
that come
Back in Time.
Oh yeah, he went back to see his mom. Okay, there you go. All right, I needed
Got
a
it.
bit of a.
Does that fix the trailer for you? Now it's an
refresher.
excellent trailer.
No, it didn't fix the trailer, but it was a that makes it make a little bit more sense now. Now I get it. I forgot about him going back in time to grab Mjolnir.
Yes, in Avengers Endgame in the beginning, and yeah, the big scene is that Steve Rogers is back. It is Steve Rogers, right? Like you don't think that this is a doppelganger Loki?
So, unless Dr. Doom is just so overpowered that he can wreck the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and Avengers all in one fell swoop by himself, I think it makes a little bit more sense narratively for him to have an inside man to kind of get the treachery rolling. I also think that, like, all right, so think about Steve when he first broke out of the ice. When you saw him outside of his uniform, how he kind of used to dress. It was very, you could almost tell that he was a military man, right? That he was former military in some way. Very plain t-shirts. His shirt is fucking tucked in. He's wearing slacks and stuff like that. Like Steve outside of his uniform is very squarish coming into the 21st century. Now, this Steve done let his hair grow. This Steve here, hair down below his ears, beard growing wild. He ain't tamed that thing in months. He got a bomber jacket on. Look like he just left the bar catching a few brews. This Steve don't look like the Steve that won't cuss. This the Steve that kissed his niece in a different timeline. That's the Steve right there. That's the I kissed my niece Steve.
That's
a different Steve. So that it may be Hydra Cap.
All right, I don't think that at all. I think it's Cap.
Might be Hydra Cap.
Okay. Super chat.
fly as an eagle, fresh out of Philly. Yeah, I still rep the city. Mirrors on the wall, worth $500 million.
Had to do some Cat Williams. Vincent says the new trailer for Resident Evil came out. It gives more context. Love how it's setting up. The trailer for Other Mummy looks good too. Oh, that's that horror stuff, guys. Horror, you know me and horror. Can't wait to be scared. Did you
I
see the Resident
watched
Evil?
Lee Cronin's Mummy the other night. That shit was awesome. No, I did. Yes, I saw the first Resident Evil trailer. I haven't seen any new ones since the first one dropped. So he's saying
The
this
next
one adds more
Yeah,
context.
it gives more context.
I'm glad that we're not sticking with the that this is somewhat of a reboot, that we're not sticking with the same old Resident Evil storyline we've been used to for the last 15 years, because it was starting to run thin a bit. Like when she started getting like fucking telekinesis and shit like that powers, it was like, all right, it's getting a little wacky. I thought it was just zombies, like post-apocalyptic type stuff. It kind of started mixing superhero shit with zombies, and it was like, this don't fit. These things don't go together.
Thank you for that super chat. But there's more supers to chat. Okay. We got a super coming out of Searchy.
Having
Searchy,
Brie Larson, Wasp, Monica Rambeau, Scarlet Witch, no more MCU, disappointed in Kevin Feige, resurrect Battlestar, and Luke Cage. So Luke Cage ain't dead. Luke Cage was in the last Daredevil Born Again season. But I second you on the Monica absence. I don't really care about Wasp. She can say where she at. I heard something interesting about her. I heard that she on the set of Ant-Man Quantumania got into it with Michelle Pfeiffer over the COVID mandate stuff. So the social distancing, the mask wearing, they were shooting that movie during the height of all of that. So she apparently gets into a argument with Michelle Pfeiffer over it, right? Gets to the point where there's a bit of a screaming match and Evangeline Lilly walks away. The director of the movie, whose name is Peyton something, and I can't remember. Peyton Reed. That's who it was. It was Peyton Reed. Peyton Reed walks up to Evangeline Lilly, allegedly, and like taps her shoulder to try to get her attention, get her to turn back around. And she fucking decked him. And she fucking decked him. Allegedly, Evangeline Lilly knocked out Peyton Reed on the set of Quantumania. And that's why you would no longer see the Wasp. Allegedly.
That's why she wasn't in the poster over there. We had Sam. Sam was flying with a Joaquin Torres character, but she wasn't next to Ant-Man.
They said that she got mad about the COVID mandate stuff, got into it back and forth with Michelle Pfeiffer, was walking off. Peyton Reed tried to grab her shoulder, and she said, "Wow, get your hands off me. Say no free touch. Wow, what's wrong with you?"
COVID, yeah, I like her because of the COVID stuff. I think that time period was crazy how willing to sacrifice everyone and what the media was putting out and the information that was dubbed as misinformation. Like, I hated that period of time. So salute to Evangeline Lilly on all of that.
There was a lot of misinformation going around. I mean, let's not
wait.
If we're talking about the same misinformation, inject bleach into their veins.
When we say misinformation, I'm talking about over-reporting tragedy and under-reporting, I guess, the truth of the matter, which is older people or people who are unhealthy, maybe obesity. Those are the victims. Like, that's what I mean when I say misinformation. And the amount of
people with comorbidities shouldn't just die off because people want to go outside. And
that is not what I said at all.
Not social distance.
But let's
I mean, you gave the anti-COVID restriction stance, at least defend it. I'm not allowed to talk back to you about it. You want to give your opinion with unbridled without anybody responding back to you about it?
I'd like to give the full opinion before I get interrupted. That'd be nice. But I'm not here to do the COVID-19. I'd rather just read the thing here. What happened to these characters? Brie Larson, I would imagine she
You
was.
started all this too. Like you.
I would imagine that Brie Larson's character, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, was taken off of the head billing of her movie, and it was called The Marvels, and she probably doesn't like that. She probably is not seeing eye to eye with these guys, but it's probably, I'm saying probably a lot. She just wants to be professional about it and not have a public spat. But I know that they cannot be on the same page. Why is she not in Avengers Doomsday marketing right now? Like, this is crazy. Monica Rambeau, I guess she's not that significant of a character to even be promoting like that. So I don't know. But yeah, MCU, they're definitely aware of it. They're aware of it, and they are bending to please the people who say MCU. That'd be that. Is that our stream today? If you would like to give a donation to the GoFundMe page that Darius has, the link is there in the chat right now. Thank you for the super chats that have come in, but be sure to be generous also over there for Planet Fanatics.
For sure.
We'll see you on Sunday, chit-chatting, right?
Yep. Sunday at 4:30 on the couch. Come check us out. I think Josh will be showing up to Tina's Comic-Con panel on Saturday. So watch out for that as well.
Saturday night. Tune in. Be there, be square. Tina Locklear. That should be her new song.
Cue to Josh.
Is this how y'all ending? Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't want to talk about COVID shots, I guess. So we just gonna end it. We just gonna end it.
I'm 2.5 hours deep.
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
All right, dog.